Hey everybody, it is about 9 o'clock p.m. here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's January 27th, 2020. The new, hold on, let me turn off my sound on here. The new decade 2020, where hopefully miracles will happen. Been a really rough weekend. Been a really rough weekend, and I hope you guys are doing good. Um, This your boy Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka Vulcan Wolverine 2. I have some information that I want to go over tonight, and I'll kind of wait for some people to get in the chat room. If you're just coming in, hey Ron, Ti Ron from Baltimore, Maryland says, "What's up, Kyle? Glad to see you online." Nothing much. Going through the Neuroweapons attacks, trying to defend myself. This weekend was really rough. I did a live stream on Friday, but I had to stop it because I just found out that, my really, really good friend, Linda, who had been dealing with the targeting for so long, moderating calls and helping people, she was going to be pulled off of life support on Friday or Saturday. And so she was killed by this program. I have some prayers that I want to say, but I'm going to save them till the end because I feel like I'm just going to lose it, and I want to kind of hold it together for the live stream. I talked to her a lot towards the end, like about 2 months ago, and we were always talking about like how there was so much hope, and these programs are probably going to end, and we were going to find things to defend better. But towards the end of when I was talking to her, she was pretty much ready to go be with her husband, who she loved very much, and went on to, the next life before her. So those conversations that I had with her when me and her, like before we kind of lost touch through these last few months, she was kind of ready to go. I've been thinking about it a lot this weekend. Like what I what I really wanted to do was just hide, just for weeks, just isolate myself, maybe drink some wine, and um, but I feel like what Linda would want me to do, and I've even like this stuff drives you really crazy, and the targeting and the neuroweapons and the V2k was constantly saying stuff, and it was almost like I was trying to talk to Linda on her way out, because we do have energy. We do go on to the next life, and I was so desperate to talk to her again, that I was like in my head trying to, and I'm not, it's just really hard. But I think that she would want me to live in joy. She never wanted to be a burden on anybody, so she just want me to remember the good things about her, how strong she was, how she helped people, and she'd want me to continue to help people. Obviously, I'm going to do that anyway. Obviously, I'm going to honor her life, and what she was a warrior, she was a soldier in this. So obviously, I'm going to honor that. But I really did want to just like kind of just I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to come back and just talk about this. But I know she'd want me to. I know that she'd be like, don't worry, I'm in a better place. I'm not experiencing pain anymore. Um, and she'd want us to be happy. She'd want us to be as happy as we could be, and not mourn her death, but just celebrate her life, celebrate all the people that she helped. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to try and be strong tonight, guys. If I do lose it, if I do cry, I'm not going to apologize. Y'all understand, but I don't really want to do that because I cried all weekend. It's like before I'd even go out to get any food, like I had to go to the supermarket and do some stuff. And I just think about her. Like I'd think about her calls and like how many people she helped. And she'd always say, she'd always say, really, which was really funny because all this targeting, it's like, really, is this really happening? There's just a lot of great things about her. Me and her were very similar. um, we took a lot of responsibility on ourselves, even though we were targeted and everything, and just really hard. But But, we're going to celebrate her life, and I'm going to say some prayers at the end. And the thing is, one thing that was going through my mind a lot is just we got to make this worth it. All the people murdered by this program, and then we still have, a lot of the public thinking that we're selfish and mentally ill when we're fighting for more people not to die, to have comfort and to not be murdered by this program. People's bodies give out. From my understanding, she had stomach issues and brain issues that kind of that accumulated. And the bottom line is, if she was not targeted, she would not have had those health issues. So she was murdered by this. But like how this program works is it hides itself within things like medical issues that happen. It builds upon those horrible medical issues, and then people's bodies give out. So, you know. Hey, James Stewart. James Stewart says, you all realize we have less than 10 years probably offline, and honestly, I hope to go sooner. I didn't want to be a damn robot. Yeah, I'm going to fight. That's me. I think there are miracles. I don't see how God's going to work it all out. I know that people are going to be killed from this program. People have been killed from this program, but to do anything, and this was Linda. Linda was a very positive person, a very spiritual person. She was more grounded than me, but she had this great spirituality and really saw the meaning in this. And she saw the meaning in her pain, and she was thankful that she could help people. It sucks. Like, she hated this. She hated going through the targeting. Obviously, we all do. But she saw meaning in it, and I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. I want to make those people's lives and their deaths worth something, worth something. We've got to make this, we've got to add our actions against this in our lives to the good side, to the life affirming side, the life protecting side. We have to do it. So I would encourage people. I know that we get negative, right? We get negative about this. It seems impossible. It's so big. I would encourage you to try and get into a cycle of positivity, because if you don't, things can't go good. Things can't get better. God can't get in there and work miracles, and bad things are going to happen. And I don't know how life is going to work out all the time, especially with this like torture murder program, torture, rape, and murder program. But we have to fight. We have to believe that we can make a difference. Good things are coming out. Like, no matter what happens with this program ending or not, good methods and solutions of defense, like, I've experienced them, I'm using them. It attenuates. So, we can't think negatively, guys. We can't afford to. We can't afford to think that we can't do this and it's not going to get better. We can't live our lives that way. Life is a gift. Life is a gift, even when we're being targeted and even when we're being tortured. We have to find those good things. And especially take the situation of Linda being killed by this. I want to take the positives that she was trying to get out in her life, her legacy. She left a legacy. So if I just hid away in a hole and I said, well, Linda's dead, and this is just it's so depressing, and I'm just gonna, I can't. People are gonna die in this, and I want to give up. Like, I want to give up. And if I just went with that feeling, it's going to cause this negative cycle. That the people who fought so hard and died by being tortured, they wouldn't want that, right? So I feel like the best thing we can do to honor those that we have lost, who have been killed by this, or anybody who we've lost in our life, is to honor what they would want for us. And they'd want us to be happy, and they'd want us to be good, and they'd want us to help each other. They'd want us to be positive as much as we can, right? And I'm telling you guys, there's positive things in this. We have to look for it. We got to dig. We got to dig deep. We got to mourn those that have been murdered, unjustly. And unjustly is like a small word in this, but we've got to do it. I understand people's negativity and stuff like that. It feels like we're dying all the time because we're being murdered. But when you get into a positive uptick and you get in that positive cycle, things happen that you can't see coming, So, and hey, Autumn. Hey, Tansy. Yeah, Tansy says I like ice cream, but I'm lactose intolerant. I was watching this. I was watching this Jeff Goldblum show on the Disney Plus channel where he was talking about the history of ice cream and everything like that. And so I went and I got some ice cream. It's apparently very, very good for you because it has like the right amounts of sugar and fat in it, and it's very, very healthy. I just want to say that that Jeff Goldblum show, it's like the universe according to Jeff Goldblum. It's so funny. The dude is so weird. He did a show on like sneakers where they're selling. They were selling sneakers. Some of them go for like tens of thousands of dollars, like pairs of sneakers, and it's like this whole new thing where it's like almost baseball card like stuff. But yeah, they made like some kind of ice cream. It was like this one guy made ice cream. It wasn't he talked to Ben and Jerry's, but then he talked to this guy who made like bone marrow and mint ice cream and all these like weird ice creams. So there's all these new kinds of ice creams coming out. I love ice cream. I get the Creole cream cheese ice cream from Bluebell, and I just eat like a whole bowl of it. I actually have this shirt has it was getting this white mark on it, and I was like, why do I have this white mark on my shirt? Where is that from? I was like, is this tar? Are they putting some kind of toxin? Like I didn't know what was going on. And I realized that when I eat ice cream, I have this big bucket of ice cream and I put it against my stomach, right, to like scoop it out. It was creating this huge line of like crusted ice cream on the shirt. That's how much I eat ice cream. I think I am. I think I'm lactose intolerant too, but I still eat it, and I still eat a lot of cheese. Um, so hey, Lion and the Lamb. Ti Ron says he's lucky. I just ate ice cream. LOL. If you don't love ice cream, you got some issues. Yeah, yeah. But some people are very lactose intolerant, man. Yeah, Autumn says, yes, Kyle, Linda wanted us to fight this abomination. I do not consent. I love her and I'm going to miss her a lot. Yeah, we're all going to miss her a whole lot. And I just wish I could have talked to her more like in, the last weeks. I'm very mourning that. I wish she would have called me, but her personality was she was probably hurting so much and she didn't want to be a burden on anybody. And so she's probably like, well, I'm not going to call Kyle and tell him like how bad I'm doing because I don't want to stress him out or something like that, which, it's ridiculous. I do that too. Like I'm like Linda in a lot of ways. I literally like I was remembering all of the conference calls that we went to late night and then her conference call, and we always just laugh so much about some of this stuff. Even though it's so horrible, we laughed about it and we found solace in each other, and we were a lot alike. I called her my TI mom. The other good times. We had some good times fighting this, where you just try and make the best of it. You try and joke about it. You try and see the positive things in your life, in the positive people that you've met. She's definitely like, I mean, she's definitely one of these people that I probably wouldn't have met unless I was targeted. And she taught me a lot about strength. She taught me a lot about strength. She taught me a lot about selflessness. Um, she always took things on herself. Even though she was targeted, she was still like, well, I need to do this about it. And, so she was a really great person. Yeah, Deb Full of Grace says, so sad, right? It's unbelievably sad. It's unbelievably sad. I had to like if I wanted to do like a live stream on Sunday, but I just kept crying all weekend, and I'm kind of like out of the shock phase where I'm just crying all the time, so I can kind of control it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do a live stream tonight. I was just thinking about a lot about like what she did for everybody, what she'd want, what she'd want us to do, what like Phil and Linda and a lot of the other so many targeted individuals have been killed by this. What would they want us to do? How would they want us to live? And they wouldn't want us to live defeated. They wouldn't want us to say we can't do this, we can't beat this. They'd want us to help each other. They'd want us to fight for life. They'd want us to make their involuntary sacrifice, right? They didn't sign up to be murdered and tortured by directed energy weapons and neuro weapons and have all these health issues that made their bodies just give out. They wouldn't want that. My attackers are wiping my brain. The neuro weapons attacks are really bad, and they're really bad. I forgot what I was going to say, but they would want us to fight for life. They'd want us to make their sacrifice, their involuntary sacrifice, worth it. Worth it. So, I mean, and that means like getting the word out about all this death. 5G is a new weapon system, right? Which the military industrial complex has had 5G. It's had fifth generation wireless technology, millimeter wave technology. It's been hitting targeted individuals with it for years and years and years and years and years. But then it puts it out to a consumer market to kind of halfway do a consumer, like we're going to make your internet faster, and then halfway set up more of an infrastructure to torture more people and mind control more people. This is happening no matter what people want to think, and they want to say conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. This is happening, and it's rolling out, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. The hope for me is that because it's getting worse, there's going to be more awareness about it, and therefore more change in how it's dealt with, and how like these new cancers that are created by 5G, of course, us getting health issues and people dying and getting cancer from this, people are going to have to take notice. They are taking notice. It's kind of exponentially increasing because there's a human algorithm to people understanding what's happening in their society. We're dealing with a lot of artificial roadblocks, but that exponential awareness is still building, you know. Hey, Future Knowledge, I've watched a bunch of your videos yesterday. Everybody check out Future Knowledge's channel. Everybody check out Autumn's channel, and then anybody else in there in the chat room with channels, please promote your channels. And Ron TI Baltimore, check out his channels. Yeah, Autumn says Robin Hood, hello. We were talking about Linda Costanza. I just have a lot of really good memories about her. She really lifted me up. Like when I was feeling down and I was feeling like I had no emotions and I'm just flat, like I'd go into those late night calls and she'd lift me up, you know. And she was one of these people, she was being targeted so hard, separated from her family because of this. They judged her from it. She saw them sometimes, but it was really bad. But she was always trying to lift people up. And when people got too negative, she would jump in and say, well, we got this. This is good. And she was really focusing on the Patriot Act, how she really wanted some of those things to be amended, and that would kind of help us. We talked about that a lot. She was very focused on, not focused all the time, she was focused on other stuff too, but she was hoping that people would realize how bad the Patriot Act was and then kind of appeal some of those amendments on it, and that could help us out. You know, she found a lot of hope whenever that would come up. I just remember always saying like, like reacting to this gang stalking and people breaking into her house and everything. She'd just always be like, really? And I took that on myself. I was like, yeah, really? Is this really happening? I mean, are people really this crazy? Has our society just completely lost all moral fortitude, compassion, and humanity? Really? I mean, really? Is this what we're doing now? I mean, people are being murdered in their homes, and then more 5G is being put up, and people are like, oh, conspiracy theories thinks 5G are dangerous. My internet's about 5 seconds faster. And I mean, it's just really people aren't gonna speak up about this, or at the very least, just acknowledge it. Like if people who are like not targeted like us, you don't have to go out and riot or go to a rally. Just at least acknowledge that it's happening. And then you can say, well, I don't know what to do about it, but I do think some bad stuff is going on. We need at least that to build upon, but instead we get a lot of people like that jerk who's messing with Kevin Christian, just completely, they have to know something's going on. They're not idiots, and they just constantly say it's not happening, and we're all just selfish and mentally ill. None of us would ever choose to be in this situation. We would have careers. We would And a lot of TIs still have careers, even though they're going through this, but we wouldn't choose this. And we're not the type of people, no TI I've met wants to burden people, wants to burden their family and burden everybody with something that's really happening. It's just devastating how this is dealt with. Yeah, Jibber says, man, I'm so sorry to hear about that. So, so sorry. Yeah, we're just going to honor her. We're going to honor her life. And like what I was telling other people, I always just thought she'd be around for a lot longer. I was like, we're going to find some defensive stuff and this is going to end. And, I never really thought she was close to the end. But she said things to me that now I look back and she was ready to go. And she kind of knew it was coming. Like she knew it was getting so bad that she just wasn't sure if her body, was going to be able to take it. And she really loved her husband who went before her. Okay. I got to kind of stop talking about it because I got a lot of information that I want to go through. But she loved her husband and he went before her. And it was like her favorite person in life. And she was just always telling me, like, that she's pretty much ready to, go and be with him. And we both had near death experiences. With mine was with my dad's brother who died when he was 18, and my grandfather, and I'd see them in my near death experiences when I was like, felt like I was having a stroke. And she had some near death experiences where she saw her husband. I mean, she saw her husband on the other side. And that's why this weekend I was really trying to just connect. And I don't know if it's real, I don't know. Sometimes your imagination carries in your mind. And my attackers were doing the V2k inner voice thing. This is really bad, guys. This is how bad these MFers are. I was just trying to talk to Linda. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it was just my way of mourning, but they would do things on the inner voice V2K, not the audible V2K, but like the inner voice, saying things as if they were Linda, and I don't even want to say what they said, but that's how evil this stuff is. And I was trying to mourn and kind of just connect, as she went on to the next life. I had an experience like when my grandfather Sladen died, where my dad's father, when I was 9, he was the first person who was really close to me. And it felt like when he passed on to the next life, I could feel it. I could feel him like giving me positive messages. And so I was reaching out to her, and my attackers jumped in there with the inner voice V2K, and they were like kind of making fun of it. So that's how bad and evil this stuff is. We all know it. We all know this is like so satanic. These people think we're a video game. They're disconnected from the murder that they're perpetrating. They're perpetrating murder, microwave torture, rape, and they're just disconnected and they think it's all a joke. The woman on my V2K she seemed like it was like, wow, this is really. She was like, this is getting really bad. This is, he's right. This is a really bad thing, talking about me. And then the guy was like, really? And again, I think they did that because Linda used to say it. So the guy on the V2K was like, really? Really? It gets really bad. Y'all know. You guys know. Ella Advocate says, and hey, Ella Advocate says, amen, Kyle. We are seen as mentally ill. It's what they want to take my kids. Yeah. Yeah, I talked to a lot of targeted individual mothers. I guess some fathers too, but yeah, and you guys have to really be careful about talking about this because you can be made to look crazy. It's like that's why I don't have children, so I try and just put myself out there a lot. So some of you guys who need to look like you have more normal lives, you won't lose your kids. There'll be some of us who can just put ourselves out there, and I don't care if anybody calls me crazy, right? It's like, because this is happening, so we've got to deal with it. Hey, Samsonite says, I think it's a general population control mechanism, and they plan to euthanize more than 70% of the population. Yeah, and the thing is, Samsonite, and I think we all realize this, it's not this or that. That's one thing that the public and good people who are just normal, we really have to see that when something like chemtrails comes along or something like this targeting program comes along, they're doing this with it. They're like killing people off in a slow kill. They're doing false flags. They're feeding DHS fusion centers. They're doing experimentation, training, research, and development on the weapon systems. That, you know, this system in the top of the pyramid doesn't do things for one reason. It's like normal people. You go to a job because you want to make money and buy food and help your family, and it's pretty simple. But with these huge programs, these global programs, these global torture programs, global surveillance programs, they're trying to do this, 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 and it's a bunch of different things. So like TIs are always like, oh no, it's for this reason, or no, it's for this reason, but it's like, yeah, you're both right. You guys have heard that that thing about the elephant, the monks, the monks touch the elephant. They're blind monks, right? And there's an elephant that they go, and one of the blind monks touches the tail, and he says, well, this is like it's like a tail with a brush on it. That's what an elephant is. And one of them touches the ear, and he's like, it's like a big leaf. That's what the elephant is. And one of them touches the trunk, and they're like, it's like a trunk thing. It's like a hose thing. One of them touches the leg, and they're like, it's this big concrete circular thing. They're all touching the elephant in a different place. That sounds bad. But they see it's the same elephant, right? And that's kind of like how targeting is. That's kind of how targeted individuals are perceiving it. We're just seeing different angles of it in different parts, but it's the same elephant. I feel like that's a great metaphor for it. I feel like that's a great metaphor for something so complicated, right? Because this is complex, lots of angles to it. You know, and we've just got to eat. We've all got to come from our angles of how we see things, how things are. These hearing aids suck. My other ones are better. So annoying. And they only have a 48-hour battery life. They really help. It helps the pain, like the remote neural manipulation thing. Now my ears stopped up. So Ella Advocate says, you're right, Kyle. Parents have to be reserved with some things and not talk about it because we have dependent children that we are being judged and assessed on as healthy parenting or life. Yeah, yeah. And I know a lot of targeted individual women who it's like they have to have a job. They can't get on Social Security because they have kids and everything like, and it's so unfair. It's like they have the toughest time because their children are being targeted. You guys are also being targeted, and then it's like you have to look as normal as possible while you're being murdered. Like look as normal as possible while you're being murdered, so they don't victimize you more and take your children away and maybe run more experiments on them and everything. And then, oh my guys, this is so annoying. I think my attackers just hit them when I do live stream. Hey Ty. Ty says hi Kyle, glad to see you on. Yeah. I had to get back into it. I had to get back into it, especially because I was going to take the whole week off. I'll just tell you all the truth. I was going to take the whole week off. A lot of things are very dark for me right now. You know, Linda's murder from this, and a lot of other things getting kind of dark. And the way that my attackers do it, you know, we talk about mind control, right? The neuroweapons attacks, and my attackers do this long-term conditioning. Long-term conditioning that makes me feel a certain way, and it's getting really, really rough. I'm blocking a lot of the pain, the very bad, really painful physical stuff, the really bad like burning of the nervous system, but they're still getting stuff through, subconscious things through mind conditioning and personality conditioning, which is real rough on top of all this stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna just take a 2-week break. But I think Linda would have wanted me to go on. You know, she would have wanted us to get together, support each other. You know, maybe not. I'm not saying like use her death. I'm saying like get together, celebrate her life, and gain strength, and maybe get a second win. Like this is serious, right? People are being murdered, and so let's get serious about it. Let's have fun with each other, have joy in our lives. It's really hard. It's really hard to have any joy, but no, joy is easy, right? Because that comes from the spirit. To be happy and content with this stuff. Just a lot of bad stuff is happening. I'm sure you guys understand. Pia Francisca. Hey, Pia Francisca. It says, Tanya, you're right. It's time for an official list of all those TIs who have passed. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Does somebody have that already? Does PAX have a list of targeted individuals who've been murdered? Because we really do. We need to see. We need to see how many. And it's like some people maybe don't even come out as being targeted in their murder. You know, so many. I'd say tens of thousands of people have been murdered by this program, and millions of people are being targeted and just going on with their lives while they're being targeted. So it's a lot. It's probably a huge kill list that people have been killed by this. Tansy says, Frank, yes, I have biofilm on my body and have to keep trying to get it off. Are you? Yeah, I've got that biofilm, toxins, funguses mixed with heavy metals in our system, in our body. You know, so, and then there's something that what Dr. Hoffer said, and I can't remember the name of. There's specific toxins that are put in your environment and put in chemtrails that make the directed energy weapons work a certain way. So there's many layers of these catalysts. It's like it's weird because we don't need any of these catalysts in our body for them to attack us. They can use our biofrequency and our brainwave frequency and just hook into that. But all those catalysts like intensify it and make it easier for them to get a bead on us. Hey, Drunken Ninja, man, how you doing? Hey, Ann Ritchie says, I've been going through this since 2006, and it's no video game. Can recollect their pleasure in my pain. In all probability, to the power it gave them that they would never had without access to torture us. Yeah. Mine are emotionless, like the woman on my V2k, and you know, I don't really know. I know I have a hive mind team on there. But it seems like the guys on there, the guys' voice, they're just very emotionless, and it's just like a job. It seemed like they were at the beginning, they were like really enjoying it and stuff, and then it just became kind of a job where they're getting bored. I'm getting bored. They still are going on, and they're just kind of trapped in that job, just murdering. And of course, that could be a psyop. They could be really, really enjoying it, you know. Let's go. I want to show you guys something real quick. Yeah, Ty McCulloch says, God's got his Elite angels over me. I'm kind of stupid. I'm sure you're not stupid, Ty. Deb Full of Grace says, Kyle, are you 24/7? Like targeted 24/7? Yeah, just always going. I mean, the only way that it changes for me, like my attackers will change. Sometimes they'll hit me harder or whatever, but I can affect it with the defenses that I use, and like Dave KC, the lead hat, the grounding and stuff like that. But it's constant streams of energy. And I have something, you know, like if you got remote neural manipulation, you've got a constant electromagnetic field around your head with a bidirectional stream of energy going to certain areas of your brain and stuff like that, bypassing the skull. Actually, they're constant. It's constant streams. Yeah. So I'm targeted. Yeah, V2k 24/7. I lower it down with things I'm doing, right? I attenuate it, but it's 24/7. It's going right now. Sounds like it's coming from the left side, like directional, but I think that's just how I'm perceiving it. I think that's just how my brain, my inner ear is perceiving it. But yeah, it's V2k 24 hours a day. Let's see what they're saying now. Okay, so the lady goes, this is getting really evil, and the guy goes, I don't care. And then, okay, and the guy goes, it's over now. And the woman's saying something, she's talking for a long period of time. She's like, this really is getting bad, and then something, I can't really make that out. And then the woman said he's not retarded. And then the guy goes, we got to get him out of here. We got to get him out of here. It doesn't matter. You know, so I think that's chatterbox that's going on right now. And sometimes they'll you know, put things in manually. And thank you, Autumn. Autumn says, don't forget to thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up and share this. Let's get on to the information. Let's go through prayer to start it out. Then I'm going to say a prayer at the end. I really need to pray right now. I really need to get into my faith. Okay, so Debful Grace says my daughter is about five or six voices. Yeah, I've got layers. Like my Audible V2k is just a man and a woman, but then there's like they'll put manual things in with the same man or woman's voices. Then I've got like an Audible layer that comes through synthetic telepathy, right? It comes through my inner voice, so that's a layer. They've got like 2 layers or 3 layers of Audible V2k, where they'll sometimes have an automated voice that will respond. It will respond to, like, if I hum in my inner voice or something like that, it'll start going, or if I say, oh, I'm hungry, it'll go, he's hungry, and it's a different woman's voice. It sounds more like the voice of the woman of the wife of the ex-army guy that I thought were doing this. So that's a layer. There's many different layers to my V2k, which they'll turn up or down at certain times. But then that one audible layer, the man, the woman talking on Chatterbox is always going. And then they have the synthetic telepathy where things will come through my own inner voice. That's not all the time, but it's like when they want to put something through maybe manually. So they can do both audible manually and then that inner voice manually. So there's so many layers, I lose track. You know, they've been doing it for so long that I kind of just lose track of all these different layers of things that they're doing, and I have to just sweep the board and defend myself, you know. Targeted Maryland. Hey, Targeted Maryland says, I've had them pass me in cars and the passenger will cover their face because they know it's wrong. Yeah, I have a lot of people in my condo who have gang stalked me for a while, and they see that, like, I'm not being arrested. They know something's kind of wrong, and they look kind of guilty. Like they look like, oh, what did we do? What are we participating in? Like, and I think that people have that instinct, right? They have that instinct, like, what are we involved in? But then nobody speaks out about it, because I think if anybody who's gang stalking comes out publicly about what they're doing for DHS fusion centers or InfraGard, I think they get put in jail. You know, it's this whole fear-based system, right? A fear-based system for the people doing the stuff. And then, of course, you know, we try not to be afraid, but, you know, we're being murdered. So it's just this accumulation of, you know, the whole of society getting very, very sick and just doing what the system wants them to do and getting very afraid and stuff like that. But you have some good people kind of questioning it now. I think this older guy, my maintenance guy, he gives me a lot of respect sometimes. It's like he can't figure out what's happening, but he's done gang stalking stuff to me. So it's very confusing. It gets people in these 2 different realities where they can't communicate about it. Like, I can't go up to him and be like, hey, listen, John, I'm being tortured by neuroweapons. Please don't gang stalk me. They're doing this to innocent Americans. He would just go, I don't know what you're talking about. He would have to say that. He can't like admit, like, oh yeah, I'm a gang stalker and I thought you were guilty of something, and work it out. It's impossible to get it worked out, you know. And some of you guys may have had better situations where people tell you what's going on, but I haven't, you know. Hey, Preston. Hey, Roger. Okay, so Future Knowledge says, Pia, I go in depth about that in the latest video. So check out Future Knowledge's channel, guys. Yeah, Deb Full of Grace says, I always wonder, how do they sleep at night? Yeah, I think some of these people they're just sociopathic, they're narcissistic, or if they weren't born that way, they got conditioned to be that way in the military, to think that killing doesn't matter, and if they're following the chain of command, it just doesn't matter, and they're just doing what needs to be done. I saw Chief Handler, like, he goes in the chat room of that show that's going after Kevin Christian. He's ex-military. I really do think that he is actually cyber stalker. Like, he's actually paid to cyber stalk targeted individuals and try and discredit us. I really do think that. He would deny it. But he was saying something in the chat like, I don't care, you know, about these target individuals. I want them to go down. He was saying he wants us to go down, like he wants us to die, and he's going to do what needs to be done. And that's effed up. Like, if he doesn't think that this is happening, why does he want us to die? And what is he saying he needs to do what needs to be done for? So there's a lot of people like that. I think there's a lot of people who deny that this program exists because we're hitting that next speed bump, right? That I was saying is going to be the next thing, is that people are going to know that this is happening, know that a lot of people are being tortured and experimented on and surveilled, but they're going to just say, they're going to say in their heads, well, the authority figures in the system are picking people that deserve it, and I'm not being targeted. They're going to be like, the people who deserve it are being targeted. So that's our next thing, is that people are going to accept that this is happening, but the system's going to be like, well, we had to do this, we had to keep an eye on these people, we had to torture them so they wouldn't do anything bad and stuff like that. I think that's going to be one of these angles that to stall, a stalling tactic, which is crazy. Like, all the target individuals I've met are very good people. And like, I haven't done any crimes in my life. I haven't even thought of committing crimes. I mean, besides smoking weed, which is ridiculous, not even a crime. Yeah, David Irwin says many of them don't sleep well. Part of those mental issues they have. Yeah, I just think some of them are very sociopathic. So it's like they just don't care. They just, they just disconnect from it, and they do it as a job, and they think of it as like murdering an enemy soldier or something like that. And then some of them probably do have feelings about it, but they do whatever they do. I don't know, man. I don't understand how anybody could ever do this. Samsonite says, Kyle, they go to psychiatrists. I'm sure maybe they probably have psychiatrists that work with them on the torture and try and counsel them and make them feel better about what they're doing or whatever. It's the system is just so crazy, tyrannical, and murderous. I'm sure they have a lot of little weird niche, groups set up, psychiatrists that know that they're doing this stuff and counsel them. I don't even care. I just want them to stop. I want this to stop. I want to block them. Never count on your attackers to give you breaks. Never count on them and be like, well, I hope they stop soon. Always use your defenses. Don't count on them because they're insane. Because they're insane. They're insane. Hey, Slack TI, man. How you doing, brother? Slack TI says, hey, Kyle. Hey, all. Yeah, Ty McCulloch says, blackmail, bribes, people on welfare, handicapped people, folks on Social Security, anybody they can get a hook into. Yeah. Yeah. Ella Abka says, I don't understand how they see a toddler as their enemy. They are more insane than how they describe me. Oh, yeah. If they ever say that you're insane, that's just a psyop. Like, I mean, my attackers always say it. They'll be like, he's paranoid. They'll say that on the V2k. Of course I'm paranoid. I'm being murdered by remote microwaves. There's gang stalkers who I don't know who's a gang stalker out in my community. Yeah, it's a human thing to be paranoid when there are secret people, there are people in our system strategically spying on people, and then there's people on remote platforms using microwaves and neuroweapons, to murder and torture people. I mean, we're going to get paranoid. It's ridiculous. It's just the false flag mentality, right? I mean, it's what the United States and its allies and Israel do to other countries. They attack them and do these bad things and don't report it and keep it secret. And then when that country gets pissed about it and does something like, oh, look, they're evil, crazy, violent. It's the false flag culture. This is a culture of false flagging and pretending to be the victim while you victimize somebody that didn't do anything to you. Sickness. It's a soul sickness, a physical sickness, a sickness of the mind. And then they want to dump more more neuroweapons and more electromagnetic frequencies on everybody to make it more of a pressure cooker so bad things can happen and keep that cycle going. Yeah, Preston Martin says Dr. Robert Duncan is pretty good. I do like Dr. Robert Duncan. I do think he's a good man. I do think he's who he says he is. And what Brian too put out, the Jesse Ventura the Jesse Ventura the mind control episode where he's talking to Robert Duncan. Robert Duncan's trying to do the right thing. I think he's probably also targeted. because he's come out and talked about this stuff. Hey, Sleeping Beauty. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says, all about blood money, Kyle. Yep. It's all about blood money to the bottom rungs of the pyramid, and to the top of the pyramid, it's about control. It's about going through with their master plan, cult ideas of cleansing the world of cattle and controlling the rest to have new world order, world domination, control everything in the world, to gain power where the top can evolve, and then the dregs, the middle class, will be wiped out, and the people at the bottom will devolve. Humanity will devolve. There will be two. They don't want just two different classes. They don't want a small upper class and a huge lower class. They want the upper class to evolve and become technocratic. What's the technocratic, like have part machines in them, using AI to evolve and go to the stars, and they want the people under them to devolve into less than human. I mean, it's documented, it's insane. It's an insane. A cult has taken over the world. Like, the people with the power in the world have cult thinking about how to deal with the world, like not respecting life, not helping life, not saving lives, murdering a lot of people. It's cult. It's like a crazy cult delusion, and it's the people with the most money and technology in the world. Jared River says, Kyle, I know you believe in God, but I wonder why you don't think this is part of the NWO. Targeting is global. I do. What do you mean, Jared? I know you believe in God, but I wonder why you don't think this is a part of the NWO. Targeting is global. Yeah, targeting. Yeah, this is definitely a plan. This is definitely an angle of our targeting of neuroweapons, of training, research, and development to have global mind control, to strengthen a global new world order. Definitely, I agree with that, man. I do believe in God also, and I don't think this is his fault. Like, I know that a lot of people, and this is a very important thing, so listen up. A lot of people are like, well, why would God do this to me? I don't really believe in God because bad things have happened in my life. These evil people are killing me, and God's not saving me. You just said it yourself. These evil people are doing it because God made the universe with free will. Our lives are a gift. We choose to serve life and to serve the universe in its good forms, or people become evil. They use their free will to do evil things. And the people with a lot of power and stuff like that have chosen to try and play God, right? The people who are causing all this stuff reject God. They reject a creator, and they think that they are God, and look what they're doing. So I really encourage people not to blame God for this. Like, men do very evil things. The things that God has done in my life have all been good, have all been good. And of course, there's natural death and stuff like that. We don't understand it all, but I know there's a force for good that has created this universe. There's a ladder of life, a ladder of creativity, and there's more than we know, so. Okay, so Jared says, okay, I just wonder why you think it will stop, or maybe you just need to have hope. Things change, Jared. I don't know. I don't, like, when I say the program stopping, God creates miracles in this world. Awareness changes things, and the system changes to that. So I don't think that these people at the top of the pyramid have it locked in where they're going to be able to just murder off a bunch of people and have their new world order. That's not set in stone necessarily, because there's a ton of good people in this world that if they get really upset, things can change. Things can change. So I'm never going to say it's locked in. I see that it's getting worse and worse. I'm not going to accept that. Good people don't accept those things. Oh, well, yeah, it's just going to get bad. And no, we fight. We fight to make things better. We do whatever it takes to save as many lives as we can. And then we don't know how God's going to take those things and change our society. It's not set in stone. A new world order is not set in stone. It's here right now, and things are getting worse, and it's tyrannical, but that doesn't mean that it always has to be like this. And it doesn't mean that the people at the top of the pyramid, it's just like, oh yeah, they're going to win, definitely. Evil's going to win. We can't accept that. We can't accept that. and maybe things will get a lot worse, but then the next generation will have a legacy to go on and make things better. I just think that people are becoming more aware of these technologies, and they're not going to be able to just torture people 24 hours a day for decades and decades and decades and get away with it, because people are going to understand, be able to read frequencies easier, have technologies to defend against this easier. So nothing's set in stone, guys. We can't think that. We just can't think that way. I understand this stuff makes us very depressed, and it's so big. It's such a big system. Can't ever give up on good. I don't care if this program lasts forever. I'm going to find good things in my life and find defenses and help you guys, and you guys are going to get stronger. We can still have victory, and we can still enjoy our life, and we can still have good things in our life. So we just can't give in to saying like, oh, well, evil's won. Evil never wins. Evil wins for a short period of time, and then good people backlash against it, and the pendulum swings. But as long as there's one good person on the world, right? As long as there's many billions of good people on the earth, and we haven't lost. And then humanity hasn't lost. And there's a lot to hope for. No, man, no, Jared, man, talk about what you want to talk about and say your opinions. We all like, this is a huge situation. And sometimes I get like where I'm like, I don't know if it's going to get better, but I know I'm going to make my own situation better, and I'm not going to give into this, right? But sometimes I have a lot of hope that there will be a lot of change in the court systems, in the UN and everything like that. But no, I totally understand, man. No, you're not doing any harm, brother. Trust me. You can say what you want to say, talk about, this is a huge thing that none of us really know how it's going to turn out. But I would just encourage you to not see that evil wins. I don't know. I guess that a lot of people who believe in the Bible, they're thinking this is the end times, but I'm not sure about that. I'm just not sure. I believe in the end times, I guess, but I'm just not sure if this is the end times. But Jared says, yeah. Jared says, I've just accepted that this is only going to get worse. Sorry, I didn't mean any harm, Kyle. I love you, man. No, I love you too, brother. You didn't do any harm. We just need to talk about it. We just need to talk about it. I think everything can get better. Yeah, I like that, Jeremy. Jeremy says, deny the depression, Kyle, no matter how dark it feels. Yeah, because it's a season. We go through seasons in life. And that's what I've been really thinking lately. It's been in my heart that this is a season. My grandfather taught me that society goes back and forth, swinging like a pendulum. And there are periods of human darkness where there's genocides and people have to survive them. And then it swings back towards a civilization that's more just and more fair. And it's always been like this, guys. But this is what I really believe, that we were born in this time for a reason. I believe in meaning. I believe in meaning, and I believe in the human soul. And I believe that God is trusting us to live in this time and to do the best we can. And we don't know the outcome or what he has planned. People die from this stuff. They're being murdered from it. So I can't say we're all going to make it and we're all going to do great. But we've got to try, right? Okay, I'm going to nerd out for a second, right? Let me nerd out. Hey, Barefoot Sungazer. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the show. It's it is my favorite story, I think. It's made by my favorite writer director, Firefly and Serenity. So Captain Malcolm Reynolds, and it's very weird. Joss Whedon wrote this story about how like the Alliance, which is basically corporations in the United States and China, got together in Japan, and they took over the world, right? And there are these people called the Independents. They wanted their independence, right? And they fought for independence. And Captain Malcolm Reynolds was in one of the biggest wars of the battles between the Independents and the Alliance. And he had a lot of faith, right? He was kissing his cross, and he was like, we're going to make it. We're going to win. We're going to win and stuff like that. But then the Alliance had these big ships that came down. They lost this huge war, the Battle of Serenity, which he named the ship after. But he kept going. Joss Whedon wrote this story where this man had lost his war for independence, right? He had faith that God was going to bring him through a certain situation. It didn't happen. He lost. But he kept going. And through the whole show, and then the movie Serenity is the movie. Firefly is the type of ship. since he kept going and he met these people and he went through these situations, he eventually had a chance to strike at the alliance bigger than anything that the war could do, right? So because he kept going, even though he lost, even though things didn't seem like what he wanted them to be, or that maybe God had abandoned him, he kept going and surviving and doing what was right. He kind of became a criminal for a while against the alliance, but anyway, but that's not the point. Because he kept going and he didn't give up, and he found his faith in the end, right? He found his faith in the movie. It's just, oh, Joss Whedon. Like, I think some of these writers and artists, they knew that this was coming, and they were giving us stories and things to boost us, to say, look, keep going, things can get better, you can get awareness out, you can do these good things. I really encourage you guys to watch Firefly, and then the movie Serenity. Firefly got canceled after one season, but it's a very important message to me. I've lost a lot in my life, things haven't gone the way I wanted to. You keep going, you persevere, you do what's right, you help people, you try and find your faith. That's one thing because my grandpa slayed, and saying, even though he slayed me, I will trust in him. I've never lost my faith. My attackers haven't been able to do anything with that. Like, I've never been like, is there God? Is there something more? Right? I don't know exactly what that is, and I pray in the name of Jesus Christ. I have the tradition of faith in my family, but it's not a problem for me to know that we were created. This is a gift. We see things wrong sometimes. We see that, like, our lives should be like somebody who's comfortable and has a lot of money in a mansion and stuff, but we've got to see that just because we wake up and breathe, that's a gift. It's better than no existence, than not being created. And we have to do something with it. We have to keep going with it. We've got to change our perspectives. If we can't change the situation immediately, and that's the way that we keep going. That's the way that we find victory. James Stewart says, a Vulcan, I understand what you're saying. It's not going to be for decades and decades, because the people that have targeted eventually, when the Constitution gets wiped out, they're going to be thrown into a jail or something. I think there's going to be a lot of backlash about these things. I don't think that the top of the pyramid has thought this out very well. I think that they have so much of an ego that they really think that they can condition people entirely. Remember Jurassic Park, right? Life finds a way. When life is held down, even though, especially the mind, right? Because mind control is like raping the mind and holding it down and trying to control it. Even the mind will organically adapt and evolve, and life will find a way. We don't know how that's going to happen, but if we get with God, keep moving forward, good things will happen. We can do good things with our life. Even if I get cancer in 2 months and die, I will have helped you guys. I will have been victorious. I will have fought against evil. I will have been a legend. You guys will have been a legend to fight this with courage, with faith. Now, our problem is that the mind control can make us very depressed. It can like change our personality and make us see things and make us act in very negative ways. And that's why I'm like, hey, guys, get your passive defenses and stuff like that. Start building that up so you can use your willpower and everything. Hey, Native. Native says, I'm so thankful we all have each other. Me too, Native. And thank you for coming. Yeah, we do have each other. We have a lot of people fighting this. A lot of good people, fighting this stuff. Slack TI says, hold on to your butts. Yeah, like what's his name? I can't remember his name. Samuel L. Jackson said, life finds a way, guys. We gotta change our perspective for a while when we feel trapped, and then look for a way out and look for a way to keep moving forward, and then wonderful things can happen. Miracles can happen. As a matter of fact, let's do the miracle prayer. I've got some prayers. Yeah, Ella Abke says, I'm a legend. Thanks, yes, you are. Yeah, Ella, you are a warrior. You have children that are being targeted. You're being targeted. You're surviving it and doing your best and trying to get information out. Yes, you are a legend. The world may say, right? And we've got to really work on this, guys. I got to work on it. right? Everything that I'm saying to y'all, I have to work on it. I'm not perfect by any means at all. Yeah, not even close. Like the world is saying we're selfish and we're mentally ill, and it makes us feel small. The world makes us feel small as we're going through this because we're going through this, right? To shift our perception back, this is really happening. We're really going through these things that are even harder than some wars in the past where people had to brutally fight 24 hours a day for their life. This, you are a legend. You are a fighter. You are fighting against something that you didn't create. You didn't cause it. You didn't, this wasn't your fault, you know? So you guys are legends. We are fighting for what's right. David Irwin says, they're too cynical to understand human nature. They have never understood the purpose of free will. The pyramid's top will fall. The one eye is blind. That's awesome. Yes. They don't understand the purpose of free will. Without free will, we can't have life. Without free will, life can't evolve. Life can't evolve. And humanity will fight for its right to exist. Mind controlled humanity is not humanity. It's not our destiny. It's not the path that I believe we're supposed to take, right? But that's the whole thing about life. You have these evil people that are like, oh, a neuro society where everybody's controlled, that's humanity's destiny, where technology will evolve and people will kind of de-evolve, right? That's their opinion, and it's the wrong opinion. It's the wrong opinion. I believe that humanity needs Tansy says Nex is doing live streams again. Is he doing a live stream right now? I want to see if he's on. That's awesome. Oh, that's so good. That's good news. Thank you, Tansy. And thank you, Nex, for doing some more live streams. That's really good news. I'm just checking to see if he's doing one now. Oh, that's great. Great if he does some panels and stuff like that. That's happy news. Let's see. Oh, is he's gonna do some live streams, or has he done some? Hey, I'll get more specifics from y'all later on that. Let me stupid hearing. Okay, he was on yesterday. Cool. All right, hold on, guys. Cool. Yeah, Tansy. Okay, so Tansy says next we'll be doing more with panels. So he's going to be doing some panels. So be looking for that, guys. And anybody who's not subscribed to Nexus channel, somebody who's not subscribed to Nexus channel, go and subscribe to him so you can go to some of his panels. That's great. That's such great news. I really think my attackers are hitting them. Thank you, Native. Thank you, Native. Native says, thank you, Kyle. You are such a beautiful person. We are so appreciative of you, Kyle. I love you, my friend. I love you too. And I'm so appreciative of you guys. Thank you for supporting this. Thank you for doing all of y'all's channels and videos. All right, give me a second, guys. I got to have these things in because my attackers will start really hurting my vagus nerve. Like I'll start getting burning pain if I don't have them in because of the frequencies going to the vestibular system. No, now they're just screaming. Yeah, this has to be my attackers. They never do this. You just hit them with a frequency, and then it makes them go high pitch. Okay, I think I got it. This one's sounding weird. Okay, yeah, so Tanya says Kyle next on yesterday. So next did a live stream yesterday. So guys, go check that out. I'm gonna have to go check it out too, and that is great. Yeah, Jared says we can hear your feedback from your hearing aid. Yes, yeah. Thank you. I mean, yeah, it's really loud. It's very loud. So sorry about that. I just have to have them in, guys. I have to wear them because like I'll have trouble talking because they inflame this side of my face because they're electromagnetic pulses to the inner ear. I'm staving that off with the noise canceling hearing aids, which were recommended by a concussion doctor who looked at the Cuban embassy workers. So really recommend getting the noise canceling hearing aids if you can, like whatever kind, even if you have to get a cheap kind. It's very, very much worth it. Okay, let me read some prayer real quick, and then we'll get into the information. Yeah, I agree, Tanya. Tanya says it was beautiful to have him back in our life again. That's great, man. I didn't get a notification. David Irwin says sounds like someone practicing flute for the first time. Yeah. Yeah, Barefoot says not because it's actually funny that they're doing that. It gets really it's just like when one of them starts going high pitched, then the other one will go high pitched. And have them up to a really high volume. They are doing heat. They're doing a heat stream to it, but I'm not sure if it's affecting. I'm not sure if it's affecting the hearing aid. Okay, so wait, Barefoot Sun Gator said, I love it when it makes that noise. I don't know why you think it's so funny. Just shows how stupid these people are. It really reminds me, that makes me laugh. Yeah. So Lynette, hey Lynette, beloved daughter of God, says, Autumn targeted in New Zealand, thank you so much for letting me know that you will be praying for me and my family. I continue my comments in another line. I agree. Those with authority abuse their power. Yes. It's like all they're doing. All the people in authority are just abusing their power. Turn them down a little bit. Okay, I think I got it. Really, this doesn't happen a lot. This never happens to me, y'all. This never happens to me. James Stewart says, yeah, Drunken Ninja says feedback loop. Yeah, that's what happens. It's like this one starts getting high pitched, then the other one does, and then I've got to get it to stop. And it does actually, when it makes that high pitched tone in my ear, it actually breaks up the remote neural manipulation just by doing that. Because it's like this weird high frequency pitch that's messing up what they're doing. It's because they need a certain resonance. They need a certain steady resonance. So even when the hearing aids act up, it kind of breaks off what they're doing. So, whatever works. James Stewart says there's also leveled who gets targeted. I'm assuming I'm a level number 1. Yeah, I don't know what level I am. I get everything. I get the external hits. I get the neuroweapons attacks. I get like things straight past my subconscious. I get the V2k. I get it all. But it's kind of been this progressive protocol. So I don't know what level that we're in. I see it more as we're being experimented on by different contractors under different entities. Like, so there's like naval intelligence puts out contracts for experimentation with neuroweapons and directed energy weapons. The CIA also puts out contracts. The NSA also puts out contracts. The Army, the Air Force, and everything like that. So people are targeted different for different kinds of training, research, and development. Slack TI says, if anyone has Audible V2K, get in touch with me, especially if you use or want to use audio shielding. Yeah, Slack TI is coming up with some good things that I've got to try. And he's actually isolating some of the V2K and getting it recorded. So, yeah. Get in touch with him. I'm gonna do it and give him my audio recording by like the middle of this week, hopefully. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna start. Let's start with a little prayer first. Um, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Um, in the name of Jesus Christ. Father, I come to you today with faith so small I cannot see a way. Well, I have a lot of faith. We'll just read this. Okay. I want to believe you are able to do more than I ever imagined. I want to walk by faith and not by sight. God, please bring a miracle into my life. I know that you can do the impossible in my life, and I'm trusting in your promises. Thank you for being a God who sees and hears my every need. In Jesus' name, amen. Dear God, thank you that you love me and want to keep me from depending on other things instead of you. Forgive me for when I've depended on my job and other people instead of you. Thank you that you haven't forgotten me, Lord. Lord, the days ahead may be a little scary at times, and I'd say for all of us that's very true. But I understand now that the path to a miracle is through uncomfortable territory. And I understand now that the path to a miracle is through uncomfortable territory. I understand now that the source of a miracle will be unexpected, so I shouldn't try to figure it out. I should just trust you. When you tell me what to do and it doesn't always make sense, I will still do what you want me to do. Help me to remember that you're all I need and that where you guide, you'll provide. I like that. Where you guide, you'll provide. Help me to remember that you're all I need and that where you guide, you'll provide. I want to learn to trust you one day at a time. I want to go your way, not my way. I want to follow you, and I ask you to save me and come into my life. I claim your promise that if I trust you, you'll meet my needs. I pray this in Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. Okay, and let's go ahead. I got some articles to go through. Barefoot Sungazer says, does anyone know anything about brain shielding or properly shielding your thoughts from them, or at least not allowing them to fully comprehend exactly what you're thinking other than what Brian? Well, I know how to block the remote neural manipulation. I think it's very hard to know exactly what kind of signals they're getting back. But the noise canceling hearing aids can tone down the remote neural manipulation. Dave Case's CD can kind of cut the cord on them progressing with this radio receiver type signal. Passive head shielding, like the lead cap, the less EMF headgear. Also, what's been working very well, and I've told you guys about this, the bone conduction headphones seem to really work, and I'll tell you, they interfere. Like I've been using the bone conduction headphones a lot, and it's like my attackers mess with my temporal lobe a lot. Like they mess with my time, like my sense of time. Like, so sometimes I'll sleep for like 8 hours or 9 hours, and it seems like I've slept for 30 minutes. Sometimes I'll be awake and it'll feel like maybe an hour has passed, but 6 hours has passed. I've noticed when I'm using these, it seems like time is working more normally. It seems like my temporal lobe is perceiving time more normally. It also seems like my mood is better. So this can also interfere with the signal because it's causing vibrations on your bones and your nervous system and everything like that. And your attackers need to get this resonance with your brain and your nervous system. So if you're doing things to interfere with that in your vestibular system or along conducting things along the bones, it's going to do that. It's going to definitely interfere with it. Yeah, Slack TI says especially while sleeping. Yeah, James Stewart says Vulcan. Yes, I agree with the sleep thing. Yeah, sometimes I'll sleep for like 10 hours and it seems like 30 minutes, and I thought that I slept for 30 minutes, and it's something that it took my attackers a long time to do that, and I feel like it's a frequency. It's like somehow interfering with the temporal lobe, how we perceive time. They do a lot of other stuff to me, but that's just, one of those things. And it felt like the other night when I was using the bone conduction headphones, I was sitting there, an hour felt like an hour. 2 hours felt like 2 hours. It didn't seem like time was just flying by. and I was like, oh, it's been an hour, and it's really been 8 hours. I think that's why a lot of these live streams are very long, because I'm not perceiving time right. It feels like it's been about 15 minutes to me right now. It's probably been about an hour and a half doing this live stream. No, Tansy says, Kyle, are you wearing the bone conduction headphones while sleeping? No, I'm using my less EMF headgear, then Dave Case's CD on the COS headphones, and then the lead cap. But then when I'm awake, I'm using the bone conduction headphones like all day. So I'm kind of like switching things up, changing things up, so my attackers have to change what they're doing up. Hey, Cal, how you doing, man? Hey, Judy. Judy Gray says, James, you watched my video. Check out Judy Gray's channel, guys. And guys, if you have a channel, just say, hey, check out my channel. I got a video about this. Put a link in there. Put a link in the chat. I do want to show you guys something real quick. Let's go ahead and get started, because I got some stuff I want to go through, and we can hang out for a while. That's awesome that Nex is doing panels. Because like I want to go through like a lot of information. I might do panels occasionally, but if he's going to do that, that's really good. It's just really good, because I know that targeted individuals love the panels, and I know I don't do enough of them. But if we have him to do them, he can maybe inspire a lot of other targeted individuals to do panels and things like that. Really increases morale. Like, people want to be able to talk about this stuff. What's going on with them. Oh my God. The other ones didn't ring as much as this. I don't know why these do that so much. Like, I really, really need them. These seem to interfere with the remote neural manipulation more. Just right when I put it in the ear, it's like making a high pitched noise. Stop. All right. Okay. All right. So y'all see this? This is the New York Times, right? The New York Times has a video on AI is making it easier to kill you, and here's how. I can't show this because it's a censorship thing. They'll just take down my video because of the censorship stuff. Really annoying. And the guy on my V2k goes, "You're effing crazy, man." What an asshole. Okay, the people doing my V2k. You're effing crazy, man. But anyway, okay, so this, I can't show it. I can't show any of it because I'll get censored. Like, my video will get censored, but please check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat. You guys watch this when you have time. It's about automated, autonomic weapon systems. And there are a lot of people who are like petitioning the UN to stop this, to stop, the proliferation of AI run weapon systems, right? And so it's a huge deal for us, because we are being hit with autonomous weapon systems. They're halfway. You got human teams on it working with AI, with the remote neural weapons and remote directed energy weapons. They talk a lot about AI run guns and AI like drones and things like that. That's one of the not new groups, but groups that are protesting, that we need to get with, is the people who are trying to fight the proliferation of autonomous weapon systems. We are being hit with autonomous weapon systems. There's this like part in it, and I watched it, I think maybe Friday during the day or something like that. There's a guy from a DoD think tank group. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Stop sharing that. I'm gonna go back to put that in there. Yeah, so AI is making it easier. There's a guy from like a DoD think tank group who talks about like how AI is developing very rapidly. It's very advanced, but then he talks about how like AI has a lot of trouble with novel situations, and so that's why I think that at this point AI is really advanced. But that's why on some of us, on some of the target individuals, it gets really obvious if your attacks are completely automated and there's just somebody coming in to check on them or something like that, it's probably very obvious that it's AI. With mine, what happens is I have a human team working with autonomic systems or autonomous systems, and then when the AI can't deal with a certain novel situation, the human operators will jump in to try and kind of direct it back to what they want to do. Now, I'm sure that in some cases, in a small percentage, the AI is like they're using more advanced software, right, and completely making it automated. So we just don't know. I don't know how far advanced it's gone. But then he said the difference between human operators on an AI weapon system and a fully controlled AI system with no human operators is just a software patch. The difference between those things is just a software patch. So I really recommend this video. It's also very hopeful. Look at this, guys. Look at this video right under the box thing here. You're being watched right now, right? So the New York Times is talking about mass surveillance, and the New York Times is talking about AI-controlled weapon systems. That's a very hopeful thing for us. If the New York Times is talking about it, that means it's starting to come out. That means that the mainstream media is starting to understand that they have to talk about this stuff, or the public will just never trust them on anything, which it shouldn't trust them in the first place. But it's a very hopeful sign that they're talking about this stuff. So y'all just check that out. I'll put the link also. I'll put it in there again, and I'll put the link in the description for this video. Very important video. There's a lot of people petitioning the UN to stop autonomous weapon systems, AI-directed weapon systems. What the United States is doing in the UN and some other countries is they're trying to basically stall. They're stalling and they're saying, well, we're not at that point where we really need to worry about fully automated weapon systems. We still have human operators and things. So they're trying to stall so that it can be too late, right? They want to stall until it's just too late to change it and it's already implemented and everything like that. But y'all check it out. That's a very good video. Hey, Ray I Am says, Kyle, to people who know that the V2k, it's not just voices, but it can also be like surrounding sounds that aren't there, like planes and trains and other sounds. Yeah. And my attackers will even do sounds of like somebody walking on the floor above me or in my condo. They'll make sounds like the door is opening, like somebody's knocking on the door sometimes. Yeah, so you're exactly right. Like there's, I guess voice to skull and then noise to skull. We could say those two things. You're definitely right. Definitely. Good night, Judy Gray. Thanks for coming. Yeah, James Stewart says, yes, I get the siren thing all the time in the brightness. I get, yeah, hey, PA says cops have sirens going off all the time. Yeah, I'll have it where I go walk Pepper and there will be a siren like right on the street, like right outside of the parking lot to my condo. So they'll turn their sirens on, or an EMS worker will turn their siren on, or a fire truck will turn their siren on. And that's part of the DHS Fusion Center gang stalking harassment. Yeah, Cal says, maybe I'll get lucky and get me a nice woman before my birthday next month. Dude, Cal, my birthday is next month. My birthday is the 21st. I'm gonna be 30 years old. I'm not actually gonna be 30 years old. I'm gonna be a lot older, but I just don't want to say how old I am. I'm gonna be 39. I've lost so many years to this targeting. I'm gonna be 39 years old. Old, so old. Yeah, Cal, I'll try and buy you a woman. Well, I guess that's illegal, but I hope you get a good woman for your birthday. How about that? Yeah, Lost Year says mine just started sounds. Oh, no, I retracted it. Yeah, yeah, it's mine have changed all along the way. Things that don't work, they'll stop doing. Things they try new things. Thanks, Ella. Yeah, I feel old though. Yeah, Ella Advocate says 39 isn't bad, Kyle. It's still young. Yeah, I think we're all still young. We still got time, you know. Okay, yeah, let's go. Let me read this article. I know I talk a lot about, and then I'll get my tablet too so I can read y'all's comments. I know I talk a lot about this, and I keep kind of beating it. I don't think the horse is dead yet. Um, but I wanted to read this article. We might kind of wrap it up with that because we talked a lot tonight. And I'll do this, and I'll do some smaller videos. I'll do some smaller videos, maybe not live streams, just pumping out some articles and stuff like that. Um, but I know I talk about the Havana attacks a lot, but I want to make a point about this. And this is from September 6, 2018, from National Defense, NDIA's Business and Technology magazine, exclusive. Doctors reveal details of neuroweapon attacks in Havana. So the huge point of this, right, is that when the weapons attacks happened in Cuba, they were mystery, right? It's a mystery weapon or mass hysteria, or it was crickets or blah blah. It's mystery. But every targeted individual and a lot of people like James Giordano, right when it happened, said that's neuroweapons. That's remote neuroweapons. Like, so that's a very important point, that when this happened and people were saying, oh, it's a mystery and we don't understand this, every targeted individual knew what it was. I made videos when it came, right when it happened, that is neuroweapon attacks. That's directed energy weapons attacks. So there's no way that people who have like this imaginary mental illness or whatever, b-holes are saying, there's no way that we could have actually predicted what they are now saying concretely. Concretely, it is unanimous that the attacks in Cuba were neuroweapons attacks. So I want to read this article. It's a really good article. It's from the National Defense magazine, and I'll read some of y'all's comments too. So exclusive, doctors reveal details of neuroweapon attacks in Havana by Stu Magnuson. Let me open my tablet and take a drink of my Mountain Dew real quick, guys. Actually, I think I want to take some Kratom too. I'm gonna take some Green Bay Kratom. I'm gonna smash these hearing aids. I might go back to my old ones, even though they're a little bit weaker. They never squeal like that. Oh, it's so annoying. I'm not really mad. I'm just joking. I'm sure it's annoying for you guys though, because you have to put up with the high pitched tinnitus like sound, and that's not cool. That's making a high pitched noise. But imagine what it's like for me with it right in my ears when you're just hearing it on the video, right? Oh, and I got this stuff too. Got this stuff. It's it's Ultimate Neuro Support. I don't know if y'all can see it. Ultimate Neuro Support. It's Dr. Stan Guberman, Ultimate Neuro Support. So if you put in Dr. Stan Guberman, Ultimate Neuro Support, so it has alpha lipoic acid, acetyl L-carnitine, N-acetylcysteine, omega fatty acids, B1, B2, B5, B6, B12, folic acid, vitamin C, CoQ10, 100 milligrams of CoQ10, and then an herbal proprietary blend. And it's making me feel a little bit lighter, less fibromyalgia pain, right? I've got my defenses and supplements and cleansings going to the point where I don't wake up with that fibromyalgia pain. Now, if my grounding falls off at night and I'm listening to Dave Case's CD, the headgear, the lead cap, and everything like that, I'll feel a little bit of pressure in the middle of my back, and I'll feel like, ooh, just like kind of just like I've been punched in the back. If my grounding falls off, but if I have my grounding on and all the other stuff, and my 2 ZVS drivers running, which I keep running 24 hours a day, they work. The ZVS drivers work. They work us not like 100% of fixing this. I think a lot of other people have maybe, it just wasn't helping enough. But with me and all the other defense I'm using, I keep them on 24 hours a day. I would like to hear from some people. If some people are still using the ZVS drivers and it's working for you, please email me or let me know in chat. Like I always say, mix and match, layer your defenses, because our attackers are layering different frequencies. They're layering different sonic attacks and microwave attacks. Dr. Stan Guberman, take a look at his website. Dr. Stan Guberman, or go on Amazon and look at Dr. Stan Guberman. I got a joint pill and a neuro support, and it's not that expensive. I think this is like 20 bucks for 120 capsules. And it has turmeric and curcumin in it too. I'm also going to take some kratom right about now. Actually, I forgot to take kratom before I made a video. That's weird. I always usually take about 4 capsules before I get on a video, because it kind of gives me a little bit of a boost. I'm going to take some green vein kratom right now. I'm going to call them a Mountain Blue. Okay. All right, guys. Let me open up my page. God, that's such great news. Next is back. Love that. Love that. I'll still do some panels sometimes, but I'm getting so tired, guys. I'm getting really tired, and it's hard for me to think on my feet. Like when people come in and they want to talk about a subject and I already got something in my head, I just don't have a lot of energy. And I was doing those 8-hour, panels. I can pick up my energy. I can get things going. It's just right now I'm having a lot of trouble. Having a lot of trouble thinking and kind of roll. When you're thinking and somebody's talking to you, like, and you kind of have to go along with a new subject and say what you know about it. Like, it's like my attackers will interfere with my brain. So I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. And it's this weird thing that I never had a problem with in my life, talking to people, right? But I get that sometimes. It's like brain lock, and I can't get a train of thought going. But like when I have a plan and I'm like, I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to read this, I want to talk about these things, then it's a little bit easier. But I'm going to get past it. I'm just going to fight that. The panels are good, but I'm just saying, my bottom line is that I'm so glad that Nex is back doing those. Those people love those. Target individuals love those. People being tortured to death like it when we can get together and have a little bit of fun, increase our morale and everything like that. And I kind of like focusing on the hardcore concrete information, right? I want to get concrete information out, so that people can see that this is National Defense Magazine. So I like that. And I feel like I kind of split myself up a lot, like where I want to do spiritual videos, I want to do concrete informational videos, and then I want to do panel videos sometimes. And I feel like it's just a little bit too too much. It's a little bit like choose one thing and stick with it. But I don't think I ever will. I kind of just think about that stuff. Yeah, Slack TI says the fog of war. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for being here, Slack TI. Slack TI says, thanks, Kyle and y'all, for being here. Thank you, guys. David Irwin says, James Stewart, a bear will certainly never target your skull with neuroweapons. That's true. Who knows if they, in the future, they take a human brain and implant it in a bear, and then bears will be attacking us with neuroweapons. That's just a joke. I don't think that's going to happen. Cal Marsh is saying, under sound attack right now. Yeah, let's read about this, guys. Let's put some more concrete data out there. It's a huge point. It's a huge thing. My attackers are hitting them. They are hitting them. They're hitting them with a certain frequency, and it's setting them off. What a bunch of BS. Wow. Wow, they're actually doing that. I hate. Jared says, what was I saying? I'm babbling a lot. Jared was saying, I love everyone in the chat, and especially Kyle. It's great to be around other TIs. Think what it would be like with no communication with other TIs. Yeah, y'all got to imagine, dude, there's been some targeted individuals who were targeted in like the 90s, the 80s, and they had no one to talk to. Like, not enough people were being targeted where it was a big enough thing where people could gather and talk about it. And the internet, wasn't big enough yet. Yeah, Futurenaut says, great info, Kyle. More like this is what we need. Yeah, I really like doing that, guys. I really like, I'm going to do some shorter videos on some MIT articles about phased array antennas creating electromagnetic fields around the head, and then doing a bidirectional stream of infrasound and ultrasound. These concrete things that people can't just poo-poo away. They can't just say, oh, well, y'all are mentally ill or whatever. We got to show the data. We got to show the data. We got to show the evidence. We got to show National Defense Magazine and, all these very accredited sources and professors and stuff like that. That's what the public responds to. That's what people like that channel that's, saying we're all crazy. They're not going to attack my channel. He's not going to tell anybody about my channel because this is what I'm putting out. And if they come here, they're going to see articles that are concrete data, right? So as a targeted individual, when you're making videos, it's good to do those testimonial videos and kind of just talking about what you think about this, but maybe put some concrete data in there from new magazines and journals and scientists every once in a while. You can protect yourself because these people that are trying to discredit us, they're not going to go after somebody that if they think they're sending people to their channel and it's just going to add more credibility to us, they're not going to send them there. Yeah, my attackers are definitely doing that. Wow. They're definitely doing that. They are definitely hitting my noise canceling, hitting on the outside. They're hitting it on the outside with a certain frequency. It's making it go crazy. Wow. What a bunch of a-holes. I think it's good now. Okay, let's read this, guys. Stop. Hey, Honey Badger. Honey Badger says, hello, Lynette. Good to see you. I have been well and enjoying a break from the internet as I focus on other things. I know you and Darren will continue to overcome with God's strength. Ooh. Hey, Wayne, what's up, brother? Judge Judy says the first book on targeting was published in 1982. Yeah, Slack TI says seriously, data. We need data. We need data. Okay, let me read some of this, y'all. Yeah, Jared says if we were not allowed to communicate with each other, it would be very scary. Thank God for YouTube. God has given us a lot of tools to use to get out awareness, to fight for ourselves. I swear, guys. I mean, like I've just sat there. I haven't just sat there. Like from the beginning, I said God's gonna put things in my path, and I've never strayed from that. Even when times get really rough, I'm like, God's gonna put things, and I just can't see them, and it's happened. It's happened. So there's no turning from my faith now, because I've seen it happen. When I had Crohn's disease when I was little, God prepared me for this. Like God led me to certain things that would strengthen me just for this. It's weird. The universe is very weird. There's these synchronicities. There's creation. There's something more. There is something more. And if we trust in it and we believe, these ultimately awesome things can happen. These life-changing, tide-turning things. Yeah, there's a stream of energy. I feel it right here, like the heat. Hitting it with a certain I hate my type. Yeah, Deb Full Grace says God's got you. And it doesn't mean that we shouldn't work hard and we shouldn't like try and be innovative and we shouldn't survive and do what we need to do. It just means while we do those things, we have to have faith. If you do something, if you're like, well, this isn't going to work and nothing's going to work and I don't trust this at all and it's going to go bad, and then you go ahead and do it, it's going to go bad. Like if you don't, when you do something, if you don't have belief behind you, it's not going to work. Like that's just how life works. I think it's a science. I don't even think it's that much of a leap of metaphysical faith. It's just a science of belief and faith. And if something's practical, what did I tell somebody the other day? I said, if something is practical, then it's factual. Faith is practical. Belief in God, it works. Things happen. If it's practical, it's factual. It's proven. It's proven to do good things when you believe in God, when you trust in God. God proves himself. He will prove himself to you. Like he maybe won't be like the burning bush, right? Where he's speaking through a burning bush to Moses or anything like that. He'll show himself to you. If you really believe, he'll show himself through things that I've experienced it time and time again. And I hate it that we're in this situation. Like this stuff happens in life. This stuff has happened all throughout human history. I think as Americans, we kind of got spoiled and thought things were just going to get better and more civilized. But human beings screw a lot of things up, and especially evil human beings getting further and further away from God. That's why the conditioning to move people away from their faith in God, they want to hurt people. They want people to hurt each other and hurt themselves. And when you don't have that connection to this creation ladder, it's a ladder of creation and stuff we don't know. If you separate yourself from that and you say, I'm God and I'm going to do it my own way and it's just all material. So, I mean, you'll hurt yourself. You'll hurt other people. I mean, people will not believe in anything. I'm not saying that the best way, but y'all get what I'm saying. Lynette, beloved daughter of God, says, Honey Badger, thank you for your kind. Okay, y'all are talking. Ty McCulloch says, my grandma knew but didn't understand. After it started, she told me the devil was after me. Yeah, the devil certainly is after us, but he doesn't have the power. The illusion of power. Evil always is going to destroy itself and destroy others, and it has the illusion of great strength. Remember that. Everybody remember that, please. Evil has the illusion of strength, but it's already destroyed itself. It's already lost. It's already lost from the word go. We have to perceive winning right, doing the right thing, fighting for what's good, protecting life is an automatic win. You automatically win. Like these people aren't beating us. They've already destroyed themselves and their lives. And they're going to try and destroy others. Evil is a lie. It is a lie and it's an illusion of power. The only power that evil has is violence, which is just destroys the person doing it and destroys the person that they're doing it to. And it's losing. It's automatically losing, from my point of view. From my point of view, and I think from God's point of view, because there's enough natural, stuff to hurt us all in our society. Yeah, Tanya says my whole family are all being tortured and being wiped out. Yeah, and I have that problem too, Tanya. My dad is just, I think they're just experimenting on him so bad. And my mom, they're being a little bit more subtle. I think they're trying to more control her thoughts. Jared says, there's a reason why Satan is after us. We are God's people. The enemy doesn't go after the ones that he isn't scared of. Yeah, I agree, Jared. Yeah, they hire them. They hire all the bad guys. Barefoot Sungazer says, but I guess if you look at it from a place where these negative forces are evil beings, or evil beings are in control of our government, then you could look at it either way, that it's only all the government doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's basically, it depends on what you think government is, because we got the deep state, which is all these military industrial complex and corporations that we don't elect, right? But they're the real power, right? And they're kind of, they got their hooks into the what we would call like the Senate, the House of Representatives, the President, the Supreme Court. They've got their hooks into like what the actual federal government is, right? So yeah, and the government goes along with this. The government hides it. The government is doing it to us. Is they're allowing the extension in the military-industrial complex and all these agencies that are connected to the government. The Pentagon, right? The Pentagon's connected to the government. Pentagon is pretty much the brain of all this targeting experimentation. They're allowing them to do it. Senators are kind of keeping their mouth shut. Representatives are keeping their mouth shut. So yeah, the government is doing this to us. And Robert Duncan said it on Jesse Ventura's show. Jesse Ventura, mind control, mind control. I love that, how he says it. But he says, like Jesse Ventura says, is the American government experimenting and torturing, or what did he say? I don't remember exactly what he said, but are they basically experimenting on citizens? And Robert Duncan says, yes, the government is doing this to its own citizens. And he said, other countries' governments are doing this to their own citizens. Hey, strong-minded individual, how you doing, brother? Let me read some of this, guys. Sleeping View says, I don't know why they think they're hiding it when too many people know the truth about it. Yeah, I think that we're in a period of time where people are understanding that this is happening, but they're afraid. They're afraid that if they speak out about it, it'll happen to them. So they're like, well, I'm just gonna, if I'm not being targeted, I'm just gonna keep quiet about it because I don't want my family to be targeted. But yeah, they're probably targeting some people. And then some people take it even further, I think, and they're like, well, oh, those targeted individuals, people being surveilled and microwaved, they deserve it. They're bad people. They did something bad, or they needed to be watched and messed with or whatever. Like there's some like military and ex-military people that think that we deserve it. It's incredible propaganda, incredible conditioning, and incredible mind control. To people who are not targeted like us, they experience mind control on a daily basis. From broadband signals put out to actual patents of mind control that come from your computer screen to television programming, right? To television programming and lily waves that come through both the computer screen and your TV and your phone. And, me and Slack TI have been talking about that with the phone. The phone can pick up the brainwave frequency at this point because it has things that were installed when they started giving out iPhones and selling iPhones that now they're just, well, now they've been using it for a while, but they had these parts ready to go because these corporations that make iPhones are working with the military industrial complex. That's why they're big companies. They work within the military industrial complex. They do what the military industrial complex wants them to do. Just like YouTube, right? Well, it's kind of off track, but I can't really show that New York Times video because it's going to be censored. My video would get taken down. So I think that also the military industrial complex, it's in control of YouTube and Google, and it's using these new censorship things not to protect people and not to stop hate speech, but it's experimenting with how it can use censorship and intellectual property rights to stop certain information from spreading. They're not just saying, oh, we're going to censor people, and we're going to take people's channels down, or like if they're talking about this subject, we're going to stop their channel. They're saying, let's censor and make things intellectual property, like news shows and things, and that will stop the flow of important information that can save people's lives, right? And I think they're really experimenting with many different angles of how do we stop information flow, how do we control information flow. So. Yeah, Autumn says, Jerry, no one deserves this torture. No one deserves this torture. Yeah, Jerry says even murderers don't deserve this. I know none of us are perfect, right? No human being's perfect, but like I don't know. I talk to targeted individuals. I haven't done crimes. I'm not bad. I'm not about to commit a crime. I know you guys aren't either. There may be targeted a certain percentage of targeted individuals that maybe have committed a crime, but they don't deserve this. You know, that's why we have a justice system, and the justice system that's completely transparent sometimes will put innocent men in jail. You know, so I'm gonna have to figure out something else besides these stupid. Yeah, James Stewart says you automatically win it when you side with God, Vulcan. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. I would agree with that because if you're doing good, if you're a good person and you help people and you do what's right, God can get in there and work miracles in your life. And it may seem like all is lost, right, for a long period of our lives, but all of a sudden you realize, oh, that's why I went through that, or that's where that was leading me. God was leading me here. You know, God was leading me to do this. And so try and see things, try and let go of what you wanted and be like, I'm gonna go with what you want from me, God. I'm gonna try and get there. Um, you know, bad stuff happens in life too. This is the worst of it, but I've just experienced so many victories by trusting in God. I really want to pass that on. It's very, very important. Like if you're doing it, you're like, well, I'll kind of get some awareness out, but I think this is just, it's not going to change. And I mean, that's different. But if you're just like, no, I can't make things better, but I'll go ahead, you know, it's just going to stay bad, and I'll go ahead and like put out some information. It's not really going to get better. God's not going to be able to get in there. It's for some reason belief and faith is necessary when you're asking for miracles. If you want a miracle in your life, you have to really believe that something can happen that's good. You don't necessarily need to understand exactly what it's going to be, but you got to believe that it can happen. You got to believe in the possibility. Okay, so directed energy weapons intended to disrupt or damage their victims' brains were the most likely source of a series of mysterious attacks singling out U.S. personnel assigned to the U.S. Embassy in Cuba in 2017. 3 doctors involved in the investigation have told National Defense in exclusive interviews. The 3 experts were contacted by the State Department to investigate 25 cases of government employees working in Cuba who complained of suddenly hearing noises, pressure in their ears, followed by symptoms such as headaches, vertigo, dizziness, and loss of cognitive functions. The team of 3 experts concluded that incident was a wide-scale use of electronics to carry out the team of 3 experts concluded that the incident was a wide-scale use of electronics to carry out a so-called neuroweapon attack. Neuroweapons are an emerging but little understood threat that is compounded by the ease in which they can be purchased on the internet. That's ridiculous. Yeah, you can buy directed energy weapons on the internet, but they should be talking more about how intelligence agencies and contractors and things have, integrated weapon systems and an infrastructure to shoot this stuff. But yeah, you can get some of this stuff off the internet. I don't know about the remote neural monitoring. I'm pretty sure that it's people who have clearances and things like that. But you might have some neighbors and stuff who have ground weapons who supplement these attacks with those. I'm gonna look and see if they have anything that's like a neuro weapon on the internet that I can get and show people. I know there's directed energy weapons. I know there's things. Well, I guess if anything, if it affects the nervous system in the brain, it could be a directed energy weapon just shot at the head, and I guess that could be considered a neuro weapon in a certain angle. Okay, so I think we are turning a page, says Dr. James Giordano, a professor at the Departments of Neurology and Biochemistry at Georgetown University Medical Center and chief of the Neuroethics Studies program at the Pellegrino Center for Clinical Bioethics. The Pentagon has taken notice of the event, and Giordano and the 2 other team members will be briefing the J3 Joint Chiefs of Staff on September 7th. Neuroweapons can take the form of biological agents, chemical weapons, and in the Havana case, directed energy, and possibly a combination of different methods, Giordano said. The effects can be latent, durable, highly disruptive, and attribution is difficult. They are not weapons of mass destruction, but they have the potential to disrupt everything from individual cells in a body to societies and geopolitics, said Giordano, who authored the 2014 book, neurotechnology in national security and defense, practical considerations, neuroethical concerns. There's a lot of neuroethical concerns about randomly picking people in countries and taking away their right to free thought, while murdering them and raping them. I'd say that's a huge neuroethical concern, that's not being addressed. It's not being addressed by the UN. It's not being addressed by anybody in the United States or other countries. It's being addressed with small groups with little influence. The attacks occurred at the victims' homes, with the exception of 2 cases that took place in a hotel known to accommodate diplomats and other U.S. personnel, said Dr. Michael Hoffer, director of the Vestibular Imbalance Program at the University of Miami's Department of Otolaryngology. Hoffer was the first physician to examine the victims on site in Cuba and later in Miami. I want to just reiterate, I know a lot of you guys already know this because I say it a million times, Dr. Hoffer recommended another targeted individual and then recommended to me to get the noise canceling hearing aids, because we're getting a lot of electromagnetic pulses conducting along the skin and directly to the vestibular system, or through electromagnetic transcranial stimulation, then down to the vestibular system in this loop in the brain and the nervous system, to cause nervous system pain, to cause visual injections and things like that. It's a certain angle of it, but the noise canceling hearing aids, like for those of you experiencing the fibromyalgia feeling, feels like maybe they're making one of your left side in pain, or they're causing trouble with your breathing, or making you have to pee because of the remote neural manipulation. The noise canceling hearing aids can buffer that down. It can actually stop some of that, because it's this loop in your vestibular system, electromagnetic pulses to that inner ear that keep it going to the inner ear, into the brain, into the nervous system, to the brain, to the vestibular system, to the nervous system, right? It's that kind of loop thing. I thought they were being targeted. I still believe they were being targeted, he said. Those he examined said they were sitting in their homes or the hotel when they suddenly felt the symptoms: a loud noise exposure, a pressure sensation, ear pain, then ringing in the ears and dizziness. A day later, there were some cognitive deficits reported. They would actually say that if they moved in their domicile, the beam, as it were, would follow them. They would actually say that if they moved in their domicile, the beam, the stream of energy, as it were, would follow them, except the minute they opened the front door, it went off, Hoffer said. Hoffer carried out a series of preliminary tests on 100 personnel assigned to the embassy last summer, as well as 10 people who were in the same residence of the victims at the time of the attack, but in other rooms. No symptoms were found in the 100 other employees. Being in Havana shortly after the attacks and before news had reached the media was important. Being in Havana shortly after the attacks and before news had reached the media was important because it gave Hoffer valuable insights, he said. Other than speaking to one another about the symptoms, the victims were not influenced by newspaper accounts. In addition, he arrived relatively soon after the attacks when their memories of what happened were fresh, and none of them had received any medical treatment. He also had the opportunity to see where the incidents occurred. I literally looked and walked at the places they were hit, he said. Most of the victims also worked in a particular part of the embassy, he added. They were really good at targeting. They were really good at targeting, he said, of those who carried out the attacks. The homes were clustered in certain neighborhoods where diplomats reside, he added. And we know how specific the remote targeting can be. I mean, I've sat by my mom, my dad. Now they're being targeted by, I think the same contractor maybe, but it's different attackers than mine. But before they were targeted, before I knew that they were targeted, they didn't feel my targeting, right? I was sitting by my dad and getting V2k, and he couldn't hear anything because it's specifically designed specifically designed with basically our biofrequency, our brainwave frequency in mind, our personal resonance. So it's only gonna hurt us. with the person specifically being targeted. Unless they do something that's more of a general thing, like those big active denial systems where they're hitting a bunch of people, then everybody's going to feel it. But with this targeting, it's more specified. It's more detailed. Yeah, yeah. Don't listen to your V2k guys. It's not on your side. It's never going to really help you out. They may tell you some information or something and act like they're good guys sometimes to get your trust or whatever, but just ignore them. Just ignore them. Try and cut them out. Try and attenuate. Never listen to what they say. Like, I'm sure my V2k attackers have said things that are true, but at a certain point you can't even know because they're just psyoping everything. So it's best just to be like, I'm just gonna not listen to anything they say. Especially don't listen to what they say to do. I've never done anything that my attacker said to do. Yeah, Slack TI says none of it's worth listening to. And we really got to cut it off. We got to cut off the V2K and just try and cut off as much of the pain too. There's just like a hot stream of energies right here. Hey, Andrew Jeanette. Andrew Jeanette says mankind is being educated. Yeah, I wish they'd be educated faster. Hey, Rev 311, my crown. James Stewart says barefoot. Speaking of which, I have to cut my toenails. Okay, hey, Tomahawk. Tomahawk says Kyle, potassium helps to clear brain fog. So yeah, I do. I take a potassium iodide. Um, yeah, and Sleeping Beauty says, Vulcan Warrior, can you drop a link in the chat for the article you have up on your screen? Yeah, let me do that, guys. Put that in the chat. I'll put it in there twice. I have so many articles that I need to get through. So I think I might have to do some just regular little videos, just doing quick articles and stuff like that. There's so much information, guys. You just go into Google. Slack TI says Tomahawk, B complex, niacin, and lots of fish oils. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, April. April Gasai says, me too, Kyle. My attackers try to talk to me 24/7. I don't talk to them anymore. They had me doing all sorts of crazy stuff in the beginning. Everything they say is all lies. Yeah. It is. It's just a psyop, and you can have one of them who sounds like they're trying to be nice to you or something, and one of them that's bad. But usually that person who's like trying to be nice isn't really, it isn't really a good cop. It's just a psyop to kind of split your mind and to kind of get you, like more open. Like, oh, well, maybe they're good or something like that. Maybe they're trying to help me. And I've heard a lot of target individuals say that their attackers like tell them that they're actually good, but the AI is trying to hurt them, and the attackers are trying to like kind of help and balance it out. So I've heard that before, that kind of protocol, and it's not. They're bad people. They're bad people. They've decided to be bad people. They use even good things to do evil with, right? So like my attacker's big thing is to mess with my sense of responsibility. I want to help people. They try and really mess with that in my head, so I feel guilty all the time if I'm not saving the world or something, which is dumb. Like it's a remote neural manipulation thing. But that's the nature of evil, right? To try and use even good for evil. We need to use like the bad stuff that they're doing and turn it into good. Try and let God make good out of all of this. Okay, so Tomahawk says taurine for the heart, Kyle. Hate it when they hit my heart. Yeah. So taurine for the heart. I don't have many problems. I use Dave Case's CD every night. Sometimes they'll give me like this little pulling, tugging feeling in my chest, which seems a little bit like kind of grab my heart, but it's like very, very weakened because I use Dave Case's CD every night, and I use my grounding. And the grounding kind of changes the way my body reacts to the external hits and everything. Drunken Ninja says, I talk to my V2k and the thing that we talk about ends up happening in real life months later. Wow. Wow. But did they maybe cause that? Like maybe they were talking about it and they had already planned to set up something where it actually happened from street theater or something like that. Or you're talking about big incidents. That's weird, man. That's weird. My attackers say so many general things. We never really talk about specific topics. They're just like, we got to put this guy away. Oh, kill yourself. You know, it's never like we don't have conversations. If I do ask them anything, they'll say like, yeah. They'll be like, yeah, we like I'll be like, hey, are y'all really there? And they'll be like, yeah, we're really here and stuff like that. So it's just like quick little answers, but we never talk about like, I just spit. I just had spittle. We never talk about like politics or anything like that. Yeah. Black TI says Kyle gets his taurine from energy drinks. Yes, I do. I do. I just drank some Nas today. Get a lot of taurine from that. And then I take adrenaline. I really, guys and girls, I really recommend this. Like I use a lot of other stuff, but if you feel like you have like no energy, I really, really recommend Drenamin. It has vitamin C, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, but it also has a proprietary blend. This makes me feel like I have adrenaline. It makes me feel like, oh, okay, I got some energy. Really, really recommend Drenamin. Neil recommended this to me. Neil got me on this. Neil Chevier, who does the conference calls on, I think, Sunday. And he's right. Neil, very, very smart about supplements. I hope he's doing. I need to get back on some of the conference calls. Yeah, Tanya says, Kyle, they are sick. There's the sickest thing, deceit. I mean, it's like deceit is a job now. Deceit, murder, rape, reading people's minds, it's all just a job. I mean, it's all being normalized. That, you know, the system wants to normalize this sort of activity, and people are just like, well, it's not evil. Authority said I could do it. No, it's still evil. Even if authority tells you to go murder a grandmother, it's evil. Even if it's like the system is making these new, it's still evil. Evil is still evil. Good is still good. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty says a lot of my synthetic telepathy sounds like AI psychic driving, repetitive weird crap. Yeah. Tom Hawk says when you think you're not getting hit, cover your navel for 10 minutes and you will feel perps hitting you around it. Does the navel have some, do they have like a stream of energy going to the navel? Yeah, Slack TI says my beta blockers kill all of my adrenaline. Yeah, when I take, I've taken some antidepressants and I feel like I have no energy. I feel tired all the time. It's just, they just don't work for me. And I don't, it's like because my depression is caused by trauma and constant trauma, it's like they don't work right because I'm not naturally depressed. Like I'm not, even though I had Crohn's disease when I was little, I may suffer from a little bit of depression, but it's like I don't need, you know, constant serotonin reuptake. And I just think our attackers can sometimes use that stuff. Just be careful with those. Be careful with medication. April Kasai says, can you spell that in chat, Kyle? Yeah, Drenamin. I really recommend Drenamin. And Neil recommends it too. Drenamin. Drenamin. I think that's how you spell it. Let me check again. Drenamin. Yeah, that's it. Drenamin. It's really good for energy. Like if you feel like you have no energy, I take it and I feel like I have a little bit of energy. Oh man, these hearing aids, They're literally doing that. They literally found a way to make them squeal the entire time. I'll just turn them down from my live streams from now on. Okay, so Judge Judy, thank you, Judge Judy said Dramamine is a supplement that supports adrenal function and it also helps maintain emotional balance. It works very well. Works very well. Okay, let me finish reading this, guys. Let's go back. Gotta go back. We gotta go back. Remember that? Y'all remember Lost when Jack is like, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. Can't find what I was reading before. Gotta go back to the island. Gotta go back. Okay, so where was I here? People were hit from all branches of the State Department, but certain branches were hit more than others, he said. 35 potential victims, the 25 who reported symptoms, plus the 10 who were in the residences at the same time, were flown to Miami, where an interdisciplinary team of experts from the University of Miami's Miller School of Medicine carried out a battery of more detailed tests. To the University of Miami's Miller School of Medicine. Hoffer was able to quickly rule out the possibility that they had experienced a traumatic brain injury, or TBI. As a retired Navy captain and doctor, he's a retired Navy captain? I didn't know that. Retired Navy captain doctor, he had examined more than 3,000 service members who had experienced TBI, and that was not it. Plus, none of the victims had reported injuring their head. The team recorded objective findings of balance disorders on 100% of the 25 victims who reported the symptoms. Everyone was abnormal in at least one balance test. We made sure they were super abnormal, not just barely abnormal, Hoffer said. The 10 people who were in the same buildings at the time of the attacks showed no symptoms. The 25 victims also had a unique pattern of cognitive disorders that the co-lead of the team, the university's director of neuropsychology, Dr. Bonnie Levin, picked up, he said. Giordano said directed energy weapons can cause these injuries by creating cavitations. This is important. This is important, guys. Listen up. Giordano said directed energy weapons can cause these injuries by creating cavitation or air pockets in fluids near the inner ear. That's like how that's how it affects, that's how that frequency goes in the inner ear, and it causes a cavitation that can actually create the chain of what they want to do to your brain through the vestibular system. And it can cause injury too because of the cavitation. That gets, I need to show that part where James Giordano is talking about it. It gets kind of complicated. The electromagnetic pulses of the vestibular system, you know, creates cavitations in blood vessels that actually do some of this like nervous system pain and stuff like that. And it's only one angle, right? Because they do have things that go past the skull to certain areas of the brain, right? The stuff is not just like, you know, one thing. That's the crappy thing about it. It's a lot of different layers of stuff that they're doing to a lot of us in different combinations. Dude, they're doing that. Okay, it's kind of funny. It's a little bit funny, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's funny anymore. I'm just gonna laugh at everything. Okay, so yeah, okay, so the cavitation, the shape of the inner ear amplifies sounds and waveforms to cause the effect. The shape of the inner ear amplifies sounds and waveforms to cause the effect. The process creates air bubbles or cavities that eventually burst. Near the inner ear are two pathways carrying blood to the brain. The cochlear aqueduct and the vestibular aqueduct. This is a great article. I hadn't read it. This is important information, guys, okay? Near the inner ear are two pathways carrying blood to the brain. The cochlear aqueduct and the vestibular aqueduct. The bubbles can travel rapidly up the aqueducts into the brain where they can function as a stroke, Giordano says. Okay, so Yeah, that's that. Like my dad had an aneurysm, and I think that was part of his aneurysm, cavitations like in his blood vessels. But I guess it's like the frequencies are really affecting the inner ear, and then it's just traveling to the brain. It's just, the vestibular system is a pathway of the brain. So I guess he's talking about things that specifically cause a stroke. But that's the area where like the electromagnetic frequencies conducting along the skin or an electromagnetic field around the head are pulsed directly to through the outer ear to the inner ear, or electromagnetic transcranial stimulation that then like microwave hearing, right, that heats up the brain and then goes to the inner ear and then goes back. It causes a loop, right? Um, there were 19 complete sets of data derived from the 25 victims after the University of Miami team completed the test. The State Department put Hoffer together in a team with Giordano and Dr. Carrie Balaban, a professor of otolaryngology, bioengineering, neurobiology, and communication and science disorders at the University of Pittsburgh. All right, and that's why I'm trying to contact University of Pittsburgh. Dr. Carrie Balaban, a professor of bioengineering, neurobiology, and communication and science disorders at the University of Pittsburgh. Dr. Carrie Balaban, guys, we need to try and get in touch with her. And I did not see her name. I was looking at the other guy's name, Dr. Smith, but I need to get in touch with her. Dr. Carrie Balaban, let's remember that name, guys. The three independently examined all the data using different approaches, but came to the same conclusions. They ruled out TBI because the damage was not consistent with such injuries. Toxins such as heavy metals or high doses of certain medications that cause similar inner ear problems were not present, and the damage not consistent. Balaban, who works with the Office of Naval Research, oh no. Balaban, who worked with the Office of Naval Research, was familiar with a body of scientific research, mostly conducted by ONR from the early 1960s to the late 1980s, on directed energy weapons and their effects on the inner ear. Balaban, who works with the Office of Naval Research, was familiar with the body of scientific research, mostly conducted by ONR from the early 1960s to the late 1980s on directed energy weapons and their effects on the inner ear. The research sought to identify the human head's susceptibility to directed energy exposures. The papers helped form part of his conclusions. The likelihood of multiple sources of energy, acoustic and radio frequencies, is there. We just don't know what it was, he said. So the likelihood of multiple sources of energy, of acoustic and radio frequencies is there. We just don't know what it was, he said. The team could not conclude exactly what method the perpetrators used on the victims. Interesting that they would use the term perpetrators. The team could not conclude exactly what method the perpetrators used on the victims, but narrowed it down to several possibilities. Drugs alone was deemed unlikely. Ultrasonic acoustic exposures they judged very possible and likely. Electromagnetic pulsing was also rated very possible and probable. Microwave energy was deemed possible but unlikely. Electromagnetic pulsing, you're going to be in the frequency ranges of microwave, right? And we're hit with microwave, so I think that it was microwave energy. I think they're wrong about that. But I guess if it's on the electromagnetic spectrum and it's maybe just radio frequencies that are affecting the vestibular system, then maybe they didn't use microwave on the Cuban embassy workers. Maybe it was Neuroweapons with another frequency on the electromagnetic spectrum. I don't know. I think it's microwave. I just have a feeling and everything, but possible but unlikely. I don't know about that. There was another possibility, but more information was needed to know that the attackers used a combination of a drug that was activated by the directed energy weapon. That's what Dr. Hoffer was talking about, which I don't know the word for. Maybe they'll say it. Maybe they'll say the term for that. There was another possibility, but more information was needed to know that the attackers used a combination of a drug that was activated by the directed energy weapon. Balaban said there was another possible method, pulsed lasers. Near-infrared lasers penetrate far into the head, he said. Near infrared lasers penetrate far into the head, he said. All of these weapons can produce cavitation in fluids and can produce these effects, he added. The three team members agreed that saying the Cuban attacks are one thing or another is foolhardy, Balaban said. Can we know who did it? I'm not quite sure. Do we know what they were exposed to? Hard to tell. But it points out this knowledge gap that we need to fill, Balaban said. Yes, the public needs to be aware of this. People are being tortured from this and raped from directed energy weapons and neuroweapons. Our minds are being raped. Our minds are being tortured. Visuals are being injected. Emotions are being injected. Whole lines of thought that affect behavior are being injected at in different ways to different target individuals, and targeted individuals are being murdered. Their bodies are giving out from intense torture over many, many, many years. The public needs to know about this. There are many gaps we need to fill in the public's knowledge and everybody's knowledge, and this has to be stopped, and we're going to stop it. We're going to stop it. Can't stop, won't. We can't stop, won't stop. We will stop. We're just going to get information now. We're just going to get, I hate saying like, oh, this program's going to stop in a year. I have high hopes. More than high hopes, I have faith, because it's what I choose to believe. Y'all ever seen Prometheus when she says that? She's like, I believe in God. Or some, I don't know, she's saying something like about heaven, about an afterlife. She said, because it's what I choose to believe. It's weird, like I'm a guy, right? And sometimes like guys watch movies to identify with the male characters, right? And I'm not saying I'm like a woman or anything like that, but I identify with the character from Prometheus, the woman character. I really identify with her in that movie. Like like when she's going through all the stuff she's going through, I'm like, I really identify with that. It's and she's like talking to, and this is kind of a metaphorical liking of the movie, but she's talking to David about like she has the alien inside her because he was like messing around, and an alien got inside of her, and she's like, I want it out, and she's screaming at him, and she has to go to this thing to like cut it out of herself. It's like just a really, really horrific scene, and I feel like that about all this crap, all this art. I want it out, you know. I love that movie. Like a lot of people didn't like Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but I really like those movies. If you don't like violent movies, don't watch them though, because they're violent. Okay, why did I get off on that subject? Okay, okay. The case has drawn a great deal of attention within the Pentagon and its Special Operations Command, he said. And they know exactly what it is. The Pentagon knows exactly what this is. This is propagandistic, and it's a way to cover things, saying, "Oh, we don't know what's going on." The Pentagon knows and knew from the very beginning exactly what that is. It's ridiculous. The information was recently declassified, and the three have given briefings to SOCOM and to the Air Force's AF Works. Balaban is working on a grant with ONR to reproduce the attack in a laboratory setting so it can be better understood. These attacks are going on all over the United States and in other countries. They know exactly. These people like Dr. Hoffer and stuff, they don't know as much about it as like our attackers do. But the Pentagon, and that's the troubling thing. There could be some people in the Pentagon who don't know about it, right? And they get those people to be like, oh, what's this? But then you have another compartment in the Pentagon that's doing this to our own citizens. So by doing that, they have this plausible deniability. Whenever something happens, they talk to the compartment in the Pentagon that may not know what's going on, but a whole bunch of people in the Pentagon do know what's going on. And so they're like, oh, well, these people really didn't know what's going on. They have people to be clueless in these agencies and people to know what's going on. So when they need the people that know what's going on and experiment on people, they got those. And then when they need the plausible deniability, people who really will be believed maybe when they say they don't know what's happening, they have those guys. You know, because when you hear somebody like Dr. Hoffer say the DOD is not the bad guys, you know that a lot of the DOD are the bad guys, but certain parts of the DOD have no idea that there's experimentation going on on American citizens. So it's this compartmentalization that's so very dangerous. Um, the trio plans to publish a paper as soon as possible with the results for all to see. One theory is that the victims were being used as a test, basically human guinea pigs, sound familiar, target individuals, and the perpetrators are hoping the US publishes test results that can help them fine tune or better understand how to use these weapons. Balaban said that kind of data will not be made public. Meanwhile, Pandora's box is open as far as making these kinds of things, Balaban said. Devices that can be used in ultrasonic attacks, for example, are readily available on the internet for less than $300. The off-the-shelf devices are intended to repulse vermin such as rats and insects and have a range of about 30 to 40 feet, he said. And that's a total misdirection. You know, there's integrated directed energy weapon systems and integrated neuroweapon systems that are being you know, top secretly used to do this experimentation by contractors. So to direct people to thinking that this is all happening with these little devices to kill rodents and stuff is just completely ridiculous. We are facing a threat, and the important thing is to figure out the battle space we are dealing with here and make some solutions, Balaban said. It's the perfect kind of gray warfare. It's a very good way to degrade your opponent's capabilities so you can exploit it with conventional means. And that's what they do to us, guys. They degrade our capabilities over time, degrade our minds, make us weaker, mess with our adrenaline, mess with our thyroid function, mess with our just our energy level completely, mess with how we think about things, making our thoughts more depressed and things like that. Then they can get us in trouble when we're being microwaved to death. Neuro weapons are mind controlling us, and then we're maybe get into a fight with a neighbor or something like that. Then the cops can come in and put us away. They can then get us in trouble by conventional means after degrading our brain, our nervous system, and our body. And that's what a false flag is. So you think about a false flag culture, and people are like, well, why would they hit you? You're not a special person. They're just doing it to everybody because they're practicing how to like take an innocent person and make them look crazy so then they can false flag them. So then they can do it to other people. They're just doing it to everybody. This nonsense about like, oh, well, you think you're so I don't think the government will watch you use the bathroom or watch you take a shower. Why would they do that? Why would they need to see your brain? They're just doing it because they're doing it to everybody. They're doing it to a bunch of people, pulling in a bunch of different personalities, a bunch of different brain types, a bunch of different genetics, a bunch of different, they're just doing it to everybody. If I hear that again from people, like if I keep hearing that thing from our detractors or people who are really dumb and really want to cover something up that's going to hurt them and their own families, they say, well, the government, I can understand why the government could maybe have remote neural monitoring, but why would they want to look at it normal? It's happening to everybody. And I will tell them it's probably, if you're not feeling any pain, you probably are hooked into some remote neural monitoring and you just don't even know it because it's happening to so many people. It's proliferated to where people are hooked into, their brains and their nervous systems are hooked into like cell phones. This is going on the whole live stream. Really making me mad. All right. Okay. Okay. We're almost done with this article. So let me read that again though, because that's what's going on with targeted individuals. That's what these AI systems and the people using them are doing. I'm going to tone it down a level. It's happened the whole live stream. It's definitely them because I sit around all the time with my with these in and they don't do this. And I'll listen to high pitched stuff like from video games and it doesn't there and I feel heat. I feel heat going to this side now. Like they're hitting it with a frequency. They're hitting the inner workings of the noise canceling hearing aids and making them do that. Like my attacker, like, ugh. All right, so let's read that again. We are facing a threat, and an important thing is to figure out the battle space we are dealing with here and make some solutions, Malavin said. It's the perfect kind of gray warfare. It's a very good way to degrade your opponent's capabilities so you can exploit it with conventional means. And that's what's being done to target individuals. That's what my attackers say all the time on V2K. Throughout the V2K, when I started to, like, when it started to be the man and the woman, or sound like the wife and the ex-army guy, we need to put him away. That's one of these people, like the people on your V2K, your microwave attackers. One of their big protocols is to get you in jail or to get you into a mental institution, to put you away, to degrade your mental facilities, torture you, use the neuroweapons, so then the system can get a hold of you. So the system, like jail or mental institution or something like that, you get in trouble, you get tossed into the system, and it makes your life incredibly difficult while they continue to torture you, and it puts more pressure on you. And so the system can get a hold of you because the system's denying that it's happening, right? And they're just treating you like you're mentally ill, right? So it's this huge underhanded false flag. We got to practice on taking people who would live normal lives and be okay and do okay in their communities and have jobs. We need to destroy them and destroy their minds so that then we can, by conventional means, destroy their lives even further and keep doing the Zerzet song, right? While we get the data from their mind about, you know, how bad it feels, how the trauma's working, and then use that, put it back in a cycle and hurt them even more, you know, for their training, research, and development. Such weapons could be used clandestinely against a political leader, for example, to ultimately destabilize a society. And that's what these weapons are doing. They're destabilizing society so the top of the system can gain more control. Because when people are scared and things are destabilized and there's all these shootings and people going crazy and whatnot, people say, here, take my freedom. I just want you to protect me. And they never get protected. They give away their freedom and they lose their safety also. That's what happens every time. And that's what's happening this time. Make no mistake, nobody, like, I know that most people are target individuals that are watching my videos. If you're not, or just people need to understand that saying, okay, we'll give up some of our freedoms for safety, it doesn't happen. Like it will never happen. If you give away your freedom, things will get more and more dangerous. It will be more organized for the evil people murdering people in a lottery system. They'll be like, yeah, we can control chaos. We have control of chaos. For the normal average family, things will always be so ridiculously dangerous when freedoms are taken away. It's how it's always happened. It's how it's always going to be. Things may be a little bit more chaotic with freedom. You may have patches of rough spots, but when you take away all freedoms, then everything is bad. Everything is bad, instead of just, oh, you might have some terrorism here or there if you have some freedom and you're not checking everybody's, I want to say, you're not surveilling everybody, right? You know. So it ultimately destabilizes society, Giordano said. I think what you are beginning to see is a greater likelihood for targeting the brain in these ways. And it's been done since after World War II, even in World War II, and it's proliferated and grown, especially after 9/11. More people started being hooked in and targeted, and it's been around for a long time. People being targeted, people's brains being manipulated, mind control, remote neuroweapons torture, remote directed energy weapons torture. And he knows it. He knows it. He's smart enough and he knows it. But he has to talk this way. So he has to say, he has to lie and say, I think what you are beginning to see is a greater likelihood for targeting the brain in these ways. Not really a lie, right? Just a greater likelihood that you're going to see it. It's been happening. It's a greater likelihood that you're going to see it now, right? It's a little bit of a lie. It's a little, you know, these evil people, they skirt the truth, you know, they can tell you kind of a little bit of a truth and it's more hung on to a lie. Um, so both in regard to its structure and its functions, which includes cognitions, emotions, and behaviors, in ways that are going to be disruptive on a variety of scales, from systems in the individual to systems in the social and political realm, he said. I kind of want to read that one more time. I think what you are beginning to see is a greater likelihood for targeting the brain in these ways, both in regard to its structure and its functions, which includes cognitions, emotions, behaviors, in ways that are going to be disruptive on a variety of scales, from systems in the individual, us, targeted individuals, and other people who maybe don't even know they're targeted, or people who are more lightly targeted with propaganda or lily waves from computer screens and TVs and stuff like that. But for us, it's extreme, right? It's extreme on a disruptive on a variety of scales, from systems in the individual to systems in the social and political realm. Because what happens to the individual then has repercussions in the social realm, right? In the political realm, in our countries, when human beings are just hit with so much injustice, individual families are just targeted for murder, for rape, and everything like that. That resonates out, it ripples out into the worst case scenarios for our societies in all of our different countries. Any kind of ex-military or military that says, oh, we got to just target people and blah, 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 and this is just what we have to do, you are a traitor. You are a traitor to your country and your family and to humanity. You're too stupid to understand long-term results of murdering, torturing, raping people on a random, like a random lotto system. You're dumb. And I just want to tell you that, Chief Hamlet. Okay, so Balaban added, we have a plausible set of vulnerabilities, areas we know nothing about, neuroweapons that have been used asymmetrically. We have to figure out what the heck this is. And that message wasn't for just Chief Hamlet, it was for all people who think that this is somehow good. All people who think that this targeting is somehow a good thing. You are a traitor to your families that you want to protect, and a traitor to your countries, and a traitor to humanity in general. One day, you might just realize it. Okay, so for more on the potential of neuroweapons, see the article by James Giordano, Weaponizing the Brain, Neuroscience Advancement Sparks Debate, in the May 2017 issue of National Defense. I'm going to click on that. I don't think I'm going to read that one tonight, but I'm definitely going to put, I'm definitely saving that. I might do a little short video just going over this. That's a good article. All right, guys. That's kind of it for tonight. Let me read some of y'all's comments. Let me go to the chat room. Let me bring it up on here so I don't have to look at my tablet. So Tomahawk says gang stalking is. Tomahawk says gang stalking is conquered on my side. When I'm out, I ignore everything. I laugh it off. You have to pay attention for it to have an effect on you. Yeah. Barefoot Sungator says, Preston, I heard you say that you were dizzy. You really should try what I was talking about with the citrus. I'll go on Discord right after if they let me and explain how to do it. Tanya says, my whole family are getting tortured, murdered, and their own family tortured, war crimes. Great people killing their own people. Monster. Yeah. Yeah, these people who are like ex-military or military, especially a lot of military, actually participate in the gang stalking. You know, and then I think a lot of ex-military are actually doing the torture. Ex-military, ex-law enforcement, ex-agency workers, ex-security industry, or current security industry, and they work for these contractors. And they're traitors to themselves, to their families. They've been told some kind of lie up the ladder that we have to do this because Russia's going to be better or China's going to be better with it. But it's just in the end, it's this way to get people on board to do this stuff, to destroy themselves and destroy their own countries. You know, top of the pyramid is figured out and how to destroy us, how to use things like, even some of these people may have been good at one time, these ex-military people who microwave us, they may have wanted to save their country, protect their country's freedoms, but then it just went down this path of learning not to care about killing people. And then they're like, oh, well, we've got to kill innocent families now to protect us from Russia's neuroweapons or China's neuroweapons or whatever. And now they're completely lost and they're doing evil and they're hurting themselves and their families and innocent families, and they're lost. It's like this slow roll of introducing immorality into society. Honey Badger says, well, I don't know for sure. I assume that's because they were replaced with a placebo pill, but I've yet to eat a bowl of spinach and not feel better afterwards. I got to eat some spinach. I'm probably going to eat pizza after this, but I'm going to eat spinach sooner or later. What do I have that's healthy? I don't know what I have that's healthy. Hey, bye, Lost Years. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for coming. Yeah, Native 321 says, I've seen similar barefoot visible dew made to look like a grid of lines. I've never actually seen, I've seen it, I think I may have seen it when it was like a perfect, the sun was like setting, and I looked through my windows and I think I saw a stream of energy once. I'm not sure. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says spinach. Kyle's gonna be like Popeye. I'm gonna be like Popeye, but my spinach is kratom. My spinach is kratom. Yeah, Honey Badger says think of food in terms of poison or medicine. Yeah. James Stewart says, is it me or I'm more interested in the chats when listening to Vulcan, even though I do love what he says and he's doing it for the benefit of all? That you're more interested in the chats than listening to Vulcan. That's fine, man. That's definitely fine. Yeah, I'm just reading through articles and stuff. Yeah, I think a lot of people like, like y'all talking chats. Thanks a lot, man. All right. Well, okay, guys, I think that's it for tonight. But I'll definitely be back on. Let me read a prayer on our way out for anybody who's been killed by this program, and especially now, right now, Linda. For Linda. Yeah, and David Irwin says pizza is a very balanced food. Has bread, cheese, meat, other stuff, tomatoes. Yeah. Jared says, I love your subs, Kyle. Thanks, man. Thank you, Jared. Thanks for coming, bro. Tanya says, no, we listen to Kyle, then we listen to it have to send to friends and family. Yeah. Fish. Okay, Tomahawk. I definitely will. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna read a prayer on the way out, guys. And I was joking with whoever said they were more interested in the chat. I completely understand that, and that's why I have a chat for you guys. So it's like I can go through articles and stuff, and you can just kind of talk. You can talk and chat when you want to. If it's really important information that you're like, oh, bam, I need to hear that, then you can listen to it. It's a good balance, you know. Oh, veggies. I don't eat pizza with veggies that much, but when I do, it has veggies on it. I eat the pepperoni, cheese stuffed crust pizza. I guess I do. I have supreme pizza sometimes. Hey, Autumn. Autumn says, please and thank you, Kyle. Hey, thank you for coming, Autumn. And everybody check out Autumn Targeted in New Zealand's channel. She puts out so much very, very intelligent information, mirrors important information too. What's that word, barefoot sungazer? Anargyropause. Argyropoulos. I'm not sure what that word is, but it's very cool. And it makes me extend my tongue and my brain. Oh, the sauce. No, no. I said tomato sauce. I said tomato sauce, Lacti. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I could just leave, right? I could just I'll just leave the live stream on and you guys can just chat. But there's that matrix adjustment 4.0. Um, and I got to use my computer to like watch movies and stuff like that. I don't like doing like if I'm doing a live stream, I like doing the panels, doing something. I don't think I could ever just do a live stream where it's like I just leave it on and don't talk about anything. I know that some people do that. They'll kind of just hang out and they'll let people hang out in the chat. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Hey, thank you, Tanya. Tanya says, Kyle, you are angel man. Love my TI family. I love you too, Tanya. And I love all you guys. I just hope y'all are finding some comfort. There's lots of things that can give you comfort. Look at this. Like I've been rubbing this. I think it's just I've been nervous and stressed out, and I've been like rubbing this. It's not from, I don't think it's from my attacker. Yeah, everybody chin up. Time McCulloch says chin up, barefoot sungazer. Chin up. There are solutions. We're moving forward. Things are changing. We all of us have to put a lot of positive belief. Jared says, I love your channel because you interact with the chat. Yeah, I love it too much. I feel like sometimes I could just come on here and talk to the chat, and just talk about stuff. But I do like to bring some articles and things. And I figure if we're going to do a live stream, sometimes we might as well do 3 hours or something like that. And people, I know a lot of people will probably just like watch like 15 minutes or something and be like, man, I can't watch this whole thing. But some targeted individuals, it's like it keeps it keeps you company, right? Gives you company, listen to people talking, looking at the chat, and so you're not so bored while you're being tortured. Yeah, I used to love a lot of people's like long videos. Chapui. Okay, Zhijio said they got a job. That is awesome. Oh, everybody remember too, there is a rally May 14th and May 15th, and I'm pretty sure that's when in Washington. Ella's setting it up. Ella Free is setting it up. And I need to learn more about it, but I'm gonna try to get my used car by that time so I can go film some stuff. PA1 says, thank you, Kyle, for the live stream. It means so much to us. Take care of yourself, Kyle. Yeah, you too, PA. Take care of yourself. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, I want to do this for you guys and just do it for targeted individuals so we can just keep pushing awareness out. I think the like articles, or maybe I could do something a little bit better with editing. I'm just so tired. I don't know. I'm just gonna do what I can. I'm gonna work on some stuff. Remember, simulated reality. Please go subscribe to this channel. A simulated reality. Please go subscribe and give a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up on this video, guys, if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and say a prayer on our way out, guys. Okay, and Drunken Ninja's putting in the Discord link. I need to write that down. I can go back and look at it. James Stewart says, Vulcan, you believe they wanted to populate the world? Who? To depopulate the world? I think that a lot of people, like the Democratic Party and a lot of democratic socialists, are trying to bring us towards communism, and that's when many more people die than are dying, that are being murdered and tortured than they are now. Communism always leads to huge genocides, and where neighbors are ratting each other out, and everything is for the state. The state becomes God, and that's what the top of the pyramid wants. They want us away from God, and they want the state to be God so that they can have more control. And so anybody who believes in God can't believe in communism because it leaves little freedom for the average family and the average person. They have to live and die for the state. James here says, Vulcan, LO, yes, Spanish, get rid of the pizza. I'm about to eat pizza. I'm about to eat some pizza. I'm about to eat a pizza, cheese stuffed crust, and probably drink an energy drink, and like veg out. I've been watching Firefly, like all the episodes. Watch that show, guys. Watch Serenity. I do think some of these artists in yeah. Oh, you meant depopulate, James Stewart? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do think that depopulation and land grabbing is a huge part of it. Like the fires in Australia, the fires in California, those things are about moving people, displacing people, and taking their land for Agenda 21. And then they don't really care what happens to people. They do believe in depopulation. They're depopulating people in the third world, and now depopulation has gotten to more civilized nation, well, that used to be more civilized, like America and Australia and England and stuff like that, and they're ramping it up, right? Targeting is experimentation and torture and trying to cause chaos in communities. It does have a little bit of an angle of depopulation, but there's other things that they're doing on a bigger scale that are depopulating people more. It's a small angle to targeting because they're targeting millions of people. But with 5G, with 5G that ramps up. With 5G, that kind of depopulation caused by millimeter waves and cancer and things like that, it's going to ramp up. And they're going to keep doing chemtrails and getting these specific chemicals in certain areas to see what maybe kills people quicker, right? So say they do chemtrails in my area, but there's a certain kind of toxin in it, the directed energy weapons, and 5G does a certain thing, and it maybe doesn't kill me quick enough, right? In another area, they're going to put something different in the chemtrails, and that's going to react with 5G and directed energy in certain ways, and they're going to see which one's the best, right? People who say that the experimentation is over, I'm afraid to tell you the experimentation is never over. I don't know anybody who is a scientist that thinks experimentation is ever over. I don't understand that. I've heard I don't know what Dr. Horton thinks at the time being, but I've heard her say before that the experimentation is done and they perfected these weapons and now they're just murdering people. Experimentation is never done with the scientific compartments in these agencies. They'll make a new, more advanced way to do it, or try this specific way of doing it with this chemical. There's so many things to experiment on, and maybe they haven't experimented on this type of genetics enough, or maybe they haven't specifically targeted genetics and seeing how the genetics of a person affects the brain, and the directed energy weapon can affect, there's just always way more experimentation. I think that these weapons, it's like they perfected some of the things they do on us, but experimentation's never over. I don't, anybody has ever done science, it's, I guess in a certain way, on certain weapons, they perfected it, they do a certain thing with it. They're really just trying to cause trouble and destroy people and, experiment with specific belief systems and things like that. But they'll always come out with new weapons and stuff. Yeah. James here says, Vulcan, don't waste your time trying to decipher it. It is Pig Latin. Well, as long as we get to the bottom line, right? We just get to the bottom line. But I see Future Knowledge and Slack TI and a lot of other people, right? Charles Hall, Brian too. They go into the technology. Drunken Ninja does a good job. Going into the specifics of frequencies and the weapons and stuff, it's okay. It's okay because we can figure things out and we can research, and it does get confusing. As long as we've got that bottom line there, like we're being hit with directed energy, we're being hit with neuroweapons, it's messing us up. That's the most important thing. But then, we can study things and talk about things. Is the experimentation over? Is it not? Because it's important to target individuals. And in that way, we keep moving forward, right? We just keep moving forward and learning about the information, discussing the topic, right? Discussing the topic is the most important thing that we can do. Not getting everything 100% correct is the most important thing you can do, because you're not. I'm not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to do that. No TI is going to be able to do that. Not even Brian, too, is going to know every angle of everything, of every detail of this global, neuroweapons program. Now, he knows a lot, right? He knows a lot, but I'm just saying, discussing it is the most important thing we can do. So don't worry about getting everything 100%. Don't try and put out disinformation, right? But talking about subjects, like, that's what gets people to study them more. That's what gets people to understand that they're happening. Slack TI says, I meant, Jared, they don't want us to die. It's all pushing us closest to it as possible. Yeah. And then it's like sometimes just targeted individuals, maybe their attackers didn't even mean to kill them. Like they weren't like, oh, we're going to kill them tonight. They were just like, their bodies just gave out. It's still murder though, right? If you beat somebody with a bat and you didn't mean to kill them, but they get a hemorrhage in their brain and they die, you're a murderer, So people shooting somebody with microwaves and neuroweapons, and they develop these medical issues that eventually kill them, it's murder, no matter how you slice it. David Irwin says, we're not the experiment. Those they control to mistreat us are. I think you and me are both right, David. They're the experiment. We're the experiment. They're seeing how far people will go. They're seeing how they can push our belief systems. Everybody's being experimented on. This is the way that I look at it. To a lot of these agencies, every country, like the population is just a petri dish. Like they don't see us as people. These people at the top of the pyramid and some masons and stuff. I mean, you got even betrayal in that. Like the people at the top of the pyramid think that masons are little animals to be used. But they have this mentality of like people are just cattle or whatever. And like the globe is just a petri dish for them to experiment on and try and control people and do this or that. They think they're gods. A lot of these masons and the people up at the top of the pyramid, they think that they're gods, and so experimentation is life to them. Experiment on people and just doing whatever they want. Autumn targeted in New Zealand says Barefoot Sungazer Frank Allen, his channel was targeted in Massachusetts. Yeah. Tanya says slow kill hospitals, doctors are all in on this program. I don't think all doctors are in on it. I think they give, some doctors do participate. They don't even know they're participating in it. Hey, TI individual, yeah. Presidential on a beat. No, they attempted legitimately to kill me last Wednesday, and they were recording it too. Yeah, I felt like a lot of times my attackers were going to kill me. And they said, like, we're going to kill them tonight. They said that, like, for many years, they're like, we're going to kill them tonight. We're going to kill them tonight. And then, they didn't kill me. I still lived. But there was time before, that was way before I got some really good defenses where I felt like my heart was going to give out during the night for many years. But now it's like they're doing more stuff to my mind. I get sore and stuff, and it's annoying, it's aggravating, but it's manageable. It's like bearable. Like the physical pain is bearable, and now my attackers are more focused on subconscious behavioral conditioning, conditioning how I think about things, how I feel about things, and things like that. And doing a subtle, not, the trauma-based thing for me is they're more focused on remote neural manipulation over time, long-term conditioning to affect my long-term thinking to then affect my behavior. So for me, they've taken this stance of, okay, we're not going to be able to get this guy to do anything within like a month or a year or anything. So we're going to do long-term conditioning of his chemicals in his brain, how he thinks. They're not going to be able to touch my belief in God. They're not going to be able to touch my belief in knowing there's something more than hurting people and evil in what's in this world. We're more than that. And God is like, I mean, I've gotten stuff that's like not of my mind, and it's like synchronicities that are not my attackers, that are just like, it's like the ladder of God, because I think there's a ladder of creation saying, look, we're here. Look, you're in this time for a certain reason, you know. Amazing things that I can't turn my back on. I can't turn my back on them. Now I can be depressed and I can be like, well, today sucks, and I just feel like, yeah, this weekend, you know, it sucks. A dark space in my head, but I can never ever give up on knowing there's more to this life, knowing that there's meaning to what I'm doing with this horrible thing happening, knowing there's meaning to what you guys are doing. Hey, New Type. New Type says, thank you, Wolverine, and everyone else. Thank you, New Type. I need to get you to come on here on a live stream. And hey, so everybody, okay, so I don't know how often he's going to do it because I haven't talked to Nex. But Nex is doing live streams now. I got the word from everybody in chat. So everybody subscribe to Nex Level, NEXX, space LEVEL. He's back, and everybody subscribe to him. And if you're a smart targeted individual, which all you guys are, you know, try and go to his show, and you know, and put some good input in there, good defenses, what's going on with you and stuff like that. Tansy says, wow, that was crazy. My messages were going all fuzzy. I couldn't even tell if they were there or not. Has anyone had that happen? Like where it was just like the chat room went fuzzy? I've had my attackers do all sorts of stuff to me. Deagle. Okay, so James Stewart says, Vulcan, look at Deagle website. DEAGLE website. Okay, James. I will, man. Okay, so Tanya says, we don't know when Next is going to do another live stream, but yes, he's back. Okay, awesome. I gotta watch. I didn't see the one he did yesterday. Yeah, it's awesome. So just the more people that do it, and guys, you know, look at a simulated reality, look at my channel, look at Next Level's channel, look at targeted individuals speaking out, Future Knowledge's channel. I don't know if Dr. Horton's still making videos right now. She's probably working on other stuff. Romola D, Ella Free. Look at what target individuals are doing to get information out, and maybe see if it would suit you. Maybe see if it, like, would you like to do panels? Would you be good at doing some panels and live streams? Would you rather put out concrete information? Would you rather do spiritual videos? You know, would you rather do interviews between people? There's lots of options for building awareness or building a channel, and not just YouTube channels, but we do need a lot more targeted individuals doing some live streams and stuff like that. I know some of you guys are very confident, not competent, but confident. I know you're very confident. You can speak well, and you get used to it. At first, it's going to be tough, and you're going to be a little bit nervous maybe, but you get a lot better along the way. You learn to let go of just like being stressed out about everything you say. David Irwin said, I told them go ahead. Then they told me over and over what I would have to beg them to die. So I said, don't then, not my problem. But you sick creeps need to make up your minds. Yeah, with mine, David, like one of the things that they wanted me to do, and I've never done it. They wanted me to beg for mercy, and they still try to get me to do that. And they think that that's a huge win. For some reason, I'll never do it. Like they've sometimes, with the synthetic telepathy, they'll make it bubble up, right? Please show me mercy, but it's not me. I'll never ask them for mercy. Like, and I don't know why. It's a big thing to me. It's a big deal. I don't want to ask evil people for mercy. I say, do what y'all are going to do, and I'm going to defend. And kind of sometimes I'll say this, and it's very personal, right? Murder is a very personal thing. But at certain times, like they'll tell me this isn't personal, man. We're, you know, it could be a psyop or anything. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna build awareness up, and I'm gonna use defenses, and I'm gonna help my own life and my family, and it's nothing personal to y'all. But I hope you go to jail, or I hope you get executed. Nothing personal, you know? Like murder, when murder becomes impersonal and it's just a job, what kind of society do we live in? And we have to go through 24 hours a day. People are dying from it, and then there's like jerks that aren't even paid to discredit us, you know, that just do it to build a YouTube channel or something like that. It's crazy. Jared says the amount of money it takes to use planes and helicopters for targeting is crazy. They spare no expense. Well, in what you'll find, Jared, is that they're making money off of these DHS fusion centers. They're making money off of them. They're putting money into stuff, but they're getting a lot of money out of it too, because it's like this cycle of input money and use of money. And then they're doing it to where they're trying to, like, say a plane already has to go into a flight plan. They're like, okay, well, that plane's already going out, but we're going to make it go along the same flight pattern to fly right over that target individual. Or, hey, we're doing chemtrails, so we're going to do that chemtrail right in the path of a targeted individual. So they build it into something they're already going to do. So they're not going, okay, we're on that one targeted individual, we're going to fly a plane out just for them. They do it with, when they're going to fly, when they have a flight plan to do something, they'll shift over the flight plan a little bit and build it into something they were already going to do. Vehicular stalking. If people are going out for the workday or whatever, they drive around certain areas and they build it like FedEx trucks and U.S. Postal Service and stuff like that. They have to go deliver mail, deliver stuff, and they'll maybe take another street and they will work it into their workday. They'll work in the harassment into stuff that they're already doing, right? So as not to completely have to use a lot of resources. They use it in things that people are already doing, right? Yeah, and Richie says, yeah, that's why I just can't do that. I've never begged them for mercy ever. I've asked them not to attack my parents and my dog. I've asked them not to attack my dog. My attackers are very weird. They're doing really bad stuff to my brain. It's very weird. It's like on some things it seems like they do have lines they won't cross, but on some things it seems like it's way out. I can't even understand it. It's probably part of my psyop. Yeah. And Rizzi says, begging them gives them power. They won't stop. I was silly enough to believe they might have a conscience in the beginning of my targeting. Yeah. Yeah. And there are different contractors doing this stuff. I even like, because I'll talk about my attackers and what I think about them, because I do have human operators, but a lot of mine is automated. But sometimes I don't even want to, because then it's like, if I say like, oh, well, on these things, they're not so bad, then they start doing it. They're like, oh, because they have to try and scare me. Like they have to try. And so for me now, yeah, I've been going through this for so long. It really seems like they don't have anything personal against me. Take that as you will. I'm not saying they're good guys. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're the good guys. I'm just saying it feels like there's not a personal vendetta, where it's experimentation. It's part of a chain of command. They're doing experimentation. I don't even think they're the ones who started it on me. I think when I was 12, things got started. Then somebody started hurting me when I moved to Texas remotely. But then I think it switched a couple of times. And I think these people just they got assigned to me. They had been doing it to other people, and they kind of got assigned to me and transitioned over. And I don't know. I guess I don't want to talk about that too much, because they will, like, they need to show me that, like, if I'm like, oh, well, because they're bad. They're really bad. They're doing some stuff to my mind that's irreversible, probably. So it's really bad. They do some bad stuff, but it just gets weird. It gets weird. And I think I do have like a not purposeful what's it called? What's that syndrome that you have? Stockholm syndrome, like where it's not like I like my attackers or anything, but to tone everything down, I keep a certain perception of what's happening. I try not to get like so angry or so fearful, because then that ramps everything up. It ramps the AI up. So, sometimes I will actually imagine that the AI is starting to understand me and maybe work with me. Practice with those things, right? Experiment with, okay, let's see if I can maybe control what the AI is doing a little bit more than my attackers, right? By how I feel, and how I think. And I was watching some show where something, it was like this AI that was affecting somebody, and they started to work with the AI or something, and the AI started to like, oh, always have the metaphor of Captain Picard and Data. Maybe I can turn this AI into Data, and it'll actually help me to start liking me or something like that. I don't really know what's going on the other side there, but I just try. We experiment with things. Yeah, James Stewart, that's a very important point. Exactly, Vulcan. They make you break your body, but then I got to break your spirit. Oh, you're just saying exactly, Vulcan. They make you break your body, but then I got to break your spirit. Did you mean they can break your body, but they can't break your spirit? I think that's maybe what you meant. No, I do have a lot. James Stewart said, Vulcan, I see 11:11 every day. Is that a sign of God? I don't know. I think that everybody sees things that are maybe kismet or more than coincidence. And I have a number that I see a lot. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. My attackers know, obviously, because they have me on remote monitoring. But um, yeah, I have like a lucky number that I'll see when things are changing, or I'm maybe going in the right direction. I'll see that number a lot. So I do think that people have those things. It's a very weird reality, guys. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what God is, right? And the simulation stuff, the way that synchronicities happen and things like that, I'm just not sure what like in the Men in Black, it was like that little globe was a universe in itself, and then it was a whole nother world outside of it. Um, Simulations and things like that. We just don't know what's outside of this universe. And I think that there is I guess I won't go into that, but I think there is a ladder of creation. There is a God at the very, very, where is he? Where is the universe in? Like, we're so relegated to just this universe, but that's the awesome thing. There's so much more, and there's so much more for us to understand and to use against evil, right? I think we have allies. I think we have a lot of allies in the spiritual world. And we have a lot of allies in the next life. We have a lot of allies, I think, in this universe, because the universe is teeming with life. So that's as far as I'll go with that. New Type says, I believe God chose us for this program to see how our fellow people have been suffering, and I wouldn't take the blue. And okay, so I believe God chose us for this program to see how our fellow people have been suffering, and I wouldn't take the blue pill and forget. It's our fate to try and help save everyone from this evil. Yeah, and like, I know what you're saying, New Type, but we can't save the world. You can just do your best and help people. Um, and so, yeah, I know what you're saying, and save people from evil, and try and help people to go the other way and to fight back evil as much as we can. But knowing that it's like, I think that people have gotten this perception that like somebody can do like, oh, hey, John Rock, how you doing, man? I've missed you. I think I saw you on my last live stream. But people have this like perception that it's like, oh, I'm gonna take this sword and in a court case, I'm going to stop this whole global program, when really helping people is like, it's like infecting people with good, and it ripples out. And so it's like me doing this video and helping you guys and getting information out. A lot of you guys are going to do the same thing, and you're going to inspire people to do that. It's like this ripple effect that goes out. You know, imagine the good that you do in your life is this thing that can ripple out. But we also have to realize that that's how evil works, right? That's how destruction works. It ripples out. So to fight that, we have to start our little ripples. You're a focal point, right? Let God use you as a focal point of this bright light to spread light to other people, right? How you doing, John? I hope all you guys are good. I hope y'all are getting some just relief from the pain. Getting at least some relief, or getting good sleep. Have some kind of comfort, comfort that you can enjoy in your life. This stuff, man. I remember when I didn't have really good defenses. It was just 24 hours a day. Just really didn't want to live. I mean, I still trusted God, but I was like, man, it's so painful. I just want to go to the next place. Yeah, PA1 says, tried to make some videos myself, but I'm not a techie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it is hard to know how to upload and stuff like that. You can get help from people, and like you can go on YouTube and look up really simple stuff like how to upload a video, and it'll bring you through it. Just remember, like YouTube has a lot of tutorials on things if you want to do something, and there's other ways to simplify it. This is really looking bad. I'm gonna go put some water, just some water on this. Maybe my attackers did do this. Looks really bad. Hey, generation, dude, I talked about the 5G BioShield. I think that I'm gonna wait till the new product comes out, because they have the USB thing in the computer, but then they're coming out with something that's not a USB key. New type says, I'm gonna try and save the world. That's stupid. Hey, yeah, you're inspiring me. You're kind of pumping me up, because I've kind of come down. Let me finish reading your comment. I like that. I love that attitude, man. Yeah. New type says, I'm gonna try and save the world, as stupid as it sounds, and I'll never stop until my dying breath. They came at me, my family, and all good people. I'll leave it to God to forgive them. Yeah, I like that, man. I've kind of like at the beginning, I was like, I'm gonna save the world, and so I learned how hard and complicated things are, and so I kind of tried to balance it with like, I'm gonna help people and do what's good, but I know I can't change huge systems by myself. I can just do what I can do and let God take it from there. But I like that attitude, and it inspires me. And actually, we need that attitude. I think you're right. And I've gotten a little bit jaded, just from how bad all this is. But you've got to have that attitude. I'm gonna freaking save the world. I'm gonna do good whenever I see anybody hurting, and then you're gonna do a lot better. So that's awesome, New Type. And I definitely don't think it's stupid. Trust me, man. I don't think it's stupid at all. I just see, as you go along in this, you see how complicated the system is and how evil the system is. And I'm like, well, God can save the world. What I do as a little human being, maybe it helps a couple of people or helps to get the information out. God can take that and change everything, right? But I just feel like got to stay kind of grounded. People get me for this stuff, right? Like this guy, he's the superhero man, stuff like that. And so I try and keep a little bit of a balance, because I don't want people, saying, oh, well, he thinks he can, like, he's Superman and can fly and stuff like that. I like that attitude, man. New Type says, you are saving the world right now, Wolverine. Thank you. You've helped me more than you know. Hey, thanks, man. You helped me too. You're very inspirational. Go get them, man. You guys go get them. Do what's in your heart. Follow God. Let's do good, and that can save the world, you know. It's just the way you look at things too. It's like, do the best you can and let God take it. It is trying to save the world. It's trying to make something good out of things. Generation says you can rub the USB version with a portable charger battery, but maybe the new version will be stronger. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Generation. I think it's a really good idea. So guys, check out 5G BioShield if you have not, and let me know what you think. It's one of those things, like my Q-Wave defenders work. I have 16 of them. One of them is broken, and I've got to do a return on it. I don't know if they're going to do a return after so long. But yeah, Time Mahalik says, and we are his body. Yeah. New Type says we all have our part to play. That's right. That's what, like, it's like that's the thing. Like, I have a little channel right here, and other targeted individuals are maybe, and organizations are doing things. We all got to jump in and do your angle, because all that added up can just be a groundswell. It can just be so powerful. So that's why I'm always saying, hey, TI's gotta jump in. I'm just rubbing this thing. It's getting more red as we go along. Native 321 says, so true, New Type. Kyle is a godsend for all of us. I appreciate that. I think we're all godsends. I've seen some people do some great things with this. Miracles happen. I get kind of like when people say that stuff. Like I tell you guys, I'm like, I like it. I like that. I appreciate that. It just we're all just human beings. We're powerful with God. We're powerful when we connect to what is great, what we don't know. We can't know it. Understand, we've got to understand this, like, because I think that a lot of people get wrapped up in dogma. Whatever created us knows that we can't figure it out. So, but it wants us to get in touch with it, right? So just remember that. It understands that you're not going to know exactly the details of how it works. That's the point of life, is not known, right? And we want to know. You don't have to know the details of your creator to get in touch with him. For you to get a line to your creator, to God, and to and for that to create miracles in your life. Just know you don't have to totally understand it. You just have to feel it. You just have to have faith in it because you choose to. And Slack TI says, Kyle, we're all feeling your ripples. I thought you put I thought you had another word at the end there. Well, I feel y'all's ripples too. Whenever I do a live stream, it makes me feel a whole lot better. Maybe Honey Badger will come back and do some live streams, some videos and stuff too. That'd be great, Honey Badger. Yeah, Tansy says PA1 gotta start somewhere. Hey mate, it's so true. Gotta start somewhere. Start down the path. Just go down the path, Ray I Am says, Kyle, you gave me a crash course about all this stuff when it first started happening to me. Thank you, brother. Yeah, and like I was watching some of my older videos, and you guys got to realize you can go watch how it worked out. And I was wrong about a lot of stuff. Like, I thought it was my neighbors. I thought they were doing everything to me for many years. So I was getting some things right about like what I was being hit by, but not by how it was being done or what it was being done by. So it takes a long time to learn this stuff. I was always hoping that my mistakes, well, it's not really mistakes. This stuff's so complicated. Trying to figure it out ain't really a mistake, But like how me going through it and figuring out, I was always hoping that other TIs would get through it quicker, right? They wouldn't have to go through like thinking it's their neighbors and stuff like that. They could get through that quickly by seeing other target individuals go through that process. And so that's what was very, very important to like start documenting it and have this chain of videos so that people could watch that and not have to go through the hell of that, of not knowing, of their neighbor coming out and saying, talking about an electric dog collar and making me think that it was definitely him doing the stuff, you know. Yeah, Autumn said, Linda Cassandra was the first person to reply to my message 2 years ago. Debo, she's such a great woman. She's such a great woman. Now we have another angel in heaven, you know. I'm definitely gonna, and I don't know how all that works, but I'm gonna try and connect with her when she's in heaven. And I know if she can, she'll help us out. You know, trust me on that one. She gets up there, first thing she's probably gonna do, well, I hope she, you know, goes into the pearly gates and enjoys time with her husband in heaven. I think one of the first things she'll do is she'll be like, hey, I want to help target individuals. I want to help them. You know. Yeah, April Casada says it's a learning process. You're right, Kyle. The more we learn, we don't know. Yeah, the more we learn, we don't know. It's so much more complicated than one person can know. It just is. I mean, we can give it a shot. We can be going in the right direction, but like, I mean, even like James Giordano does not know all the angles and what all the contractors are doing and exactly everything. You know, people specialize in their knowledge of stuff. It's just such a big global system, and it's meant to be that way. It's meant to be so complicated that one person can't just explain it. And so if we try to explain it and we try to cover all of our bases, right? We try and talk about like, well, this is for this reason, and this is for this reason, and it's hitting us like this, and we can't cover it all, so it sounds like conspiracy theory. It's done on purpose. These huge global systems that are so bad for humanity, they're made to be very complicated. So when one person talks about them, they can go, that's a crackpot, because you hear it, they're not explaining it right. It's just built that way. Hey, Paul Abernathy says, I pray for all targeted individuals all over the world. Thank you, Paul. Okay, that's cool, James. James Stewart says, you have to learn from this life to level up for the next life. That's what I'm getting from these other videos I've seen. Yeah. We can even evolve in this life, you know, resistance to challenging situations. I don't want to just call this a challenging situation. Really, this is a hardcore situation, but resistance to it can make us stronger, can make us evolve. And God invented evolution. I may be making some Christians mad with that one. Hey, Alan, did I say hey to you, Alan? Hey, Alan Nielsen Brewer. If I didn't say hey to you, I'm sorry, dude. Try and get everybody. I don't think you've been talking too much tonight. I don't think you've been chatting too much tonight. Okay. If I don't say hey, I don't mean to, guys. Okay, let's go out with a prayer. Let's go out this live stream with a prayer. I'm gonna be doing more videos. It's awesome that Next is doing. Let me pull up his channel real quick. This is Next Level. Got about 1,500 subscribers. Really good. That's really good for how long he's had this channel. Next Level. Subscribe to this channel, guys. And he's going to be doing some more videos, apparently. Where's the live stream? Is there a live stream? Maybe he was saying, oh, maybe he put out a, I don't want to speak, I'm not sure. People are saying he's doing live streams, so I'll just say that. Okay, let me say this prayer. Okay, I'll leave it on my screen. I don't need to share the screen. Let me pray us out, guys. I'm going to pray us out. This is for all of those who've been murdered by this program, especially Linda, who's up in heaven, probably asking God to be able to help us, you know. I hope she is just enjoying her husband and enjoying the afterlife. Um, okay, guys, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ, in our hearts, we thought of you today, but that is nothing new. Thought about you yesterday and days before that too. We think of you in silence. We often speak your name. Now all we have, memories, and your picture in a frame. Your memory is our keepsake with which we'll never part. God has you in his keeping. We have you in our heart. So that's for Linda. And we're all gonna remember, and we're gonna move on, we're gonna go on helping each other, and just honoring her, honoring what she wanted, honoring what she did in life. She was a fighter, and we're fighters too. Slack the guy said new type. That's awesome. You have great knowledge. New type's really, really smart. New type says, thank you, Wolverine, and everyone. Stay strong. Come what may. Yeah. Yeah. Preston says, I stopped vaping, but I started dipping again. I can't dip. I get nauseous. And I do. I'm vaping, but I'm trying to quit because you buy like 2 packets, or a packet of this is like $10, like a pack of 3, which go in a day. So I have to stop. I also have to fix this red thing on my chin. Hi, Honey Badger. Thank you for coming, man. Honey Badger says, thanks for the stream, Kyle. Yeah, dude, I'm glad you're kind of enjoying, enjoying life and stuff, and just kind of, yeah, and definitely come to the live streams. And maybe, if you do feel like doing some yourself, I'll come over there and help you. Jared Ritter says, thanks, Kyle. I had a great time. Thanks for coming, brother. And try some stuff, guys. Not just you, Jared, but everybody. Dave Case's CD, noise canceling hearing aids. If you're getting bad R&M, grounding. Then the lead cap. GetLambs.com has a beanie and shirts and underwear that are very, very effective at blocking like 99% of Wi-Fi. So they can protect you from some of the layers of these attacks, right? Yeah, Preston says, I was going through 2 Juul pods a day. It was killing me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stop these electronic cigarettes. John Rock, good people will do something, says, prayer is our #1 asset to survive this ordeal aside from a personal relationship with God. Yes. Prayer, connecting to the Creator. Just connect, even if you don't understand it, just connect it. Know that there's something more. Know that there's something that created you. I sometimes just like to think of it as the force. It flows through us. It's above us. It made us. And I have faith in the traditions of my family. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ. I believe He is the Son of God. But sometimes I just like to think about stuff as like, it's a force that flows through us all. God is everywhere, in everybody, in everything. And in this game, this Jedi Fallen Order game, the guy's master says the obstacle defines the path. It's hard to understand what that means. We've got to look at our obstacle. It's going to define the path we must take. So you can learn a lot from the creative force in the universe. It will call out to you in many different ways, and it will try and direct you. Please believe. Please believe. John Rock, good people do something, says, excellent live stream. Good night, and thanks for mentioning the defenses. Good night. Hey, good night, John. Thanks for coming, man. All right, guys, I love y'all. Thank you for coming, Autumn. Everybody check out Autumn's channel. I hope you're getting some relief, Autumn. I know how hard this stuff is. But you can get it to where it's manageable. And we're all kind of in different, like our attackers are doing, they're in different parts of the protocol. So yeah, we just got to try. We got to try everything. Hey, love you too, bro. Thanks for coming, Preston. Thanks for coming, James. And good night, everybody. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, but y'all have a good night. Everybody just stay strong. Hey, Revelation 3:11, my crown says, yeah, good night, and God bless Wolverine. Good night to you too. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon. I might be doing some videos, just like not live streams, but just like reading an article real quick or showing something on a video or doing something like that. A couple of little short things too. So be kind of looking out for that also. Hey, good night. Good night, Slack TI. Good night, all. May the force be with yous. May the force be with yous. And just stay strong and have courage and be brave, guys. Be brave. If you're scared, you know, really pray to God. Really ask Him to put something in your path, solutions in your path. You know. Love you guys. Love you, Autumn. Ty says, good night, good luck, and Godspeed. Drunken Ninja. David Irwin says, good night, all. Walk in the Spirit, endure in faith. I love that. Endure in faith. Good night, Tanya. Love you. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one, okay?